Hey everybody, welcome to Pretentious Taste. My name is Danny.
I'm
I'm Mark.
Maddi.
Oh,
Oh,
Did you guys just fusion?
now we're one person. That's how it works.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
I've heard that's how it works.
radish, radish.
Radish. All right.
So
Chewy is
that's
also good.
Maddie over there that's talking after me.
uh, Holy fuck.
Play-by-play commentary, new feature.
Yep.
New feature.
Um. So let's just jump right into the shit. Unless anybody has some interesting anecdotes. I just woke up, so that's fun. Um.
Good
What's
morning.
everybody been up to recently?
I I did not sleep at all last night, so you're getting Madison in a laundromat parking lot, in the middle of an all nighter, and I've been watching Nathan for You every day for the past 2 weeks, and that's how I exist now. And also Fallout. That is also a game that
Oh yeah,
came out.
Fallout. Fallout came out.
Mm, that's true.
Fallout.
So I play Fallout, I watch Nathan for You, and I listen to music, and then I go
So
to bed. Or in this case, I don't go to bed.
You're having a really LA day. Like,
Yes.
like if you
Sounds
told me
very
that
surreal.
story and I had to guess where you lived, I would immediately go Los Angeles. Maybe New York.
I would
No,
say
not even New
yeah,
York.
New York. That's in New York.
Yeah,
Fine.
all night.
Brooklyn to be specific.
That is a pretty Brooklyn thing. I agree with that.
It's like a
Um,
super windy day.
oh yeah, because El Nino is there. That little boy.
Yeah. Here. It's like super, it's not raining or anything. It rained yesterday, but it's just like high ass winds, so the power got knocked out at my house, so that's why I'm in a parking lot.
I feel that. I feel that. It sucks that you have to be in a parking lot on like a rainy, windy day. Cause
It's not rainy. I just said that,
well,
but
it might rain. It's El Nino. That little boy's in town. He's gonna storm up a storm. But what I'm trying to
Danny's
say is, what I'm
just
trying to
covering.
say is, it sucks because today could be a comfy core day, and instead you're at a laundromat in a parking lot because your
Storm
power's
up
yeah.
a
fucked up.
storm.
Storming up a storm.
Storm.
But you know
Think.
what
Think.
is great? I was thinking about this. So like I was watching this episode of Nathan for You last night, and it's the one where he first hires the private investigator
Yeah.
to go
Mhm.
to his house or whatever, and they don't show like where he lives or anything, but they show him like walking kind of around his neighborhood, and in the background is the Capitol Records building, and I live like literally right by that. So
Oh, then I must
I
have passed you the last time I was in California. Actually.
so I think we're neighbors in
Friendly
some,
neighbors.
I mean neighbors in the LA sense of the word.
Neighbors
Um,
of neighbors.
I've been watching a fair amount of Nathan for You as well recently. I binged watched it in like 2 days, and then I've just been waiting for each. And now that the season's over, that kind of sucks because there's gonna be a good minute until the next one comes out. But
True.
Oh, like a year. What are we gonna do?
yeah, one thing I noticed is that his hair is just getting like grayer from what I assume is stress
I
each
know.
I
season.
imagine.
Like I can't imagine that
He's
that
only
show is.
32.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
They
he's
shoot like
32.
so much fucking footage.
They do a lot. They do a lot, and I just don't. Ooh. But
He's gonna
I
be
don't
full
know
gray by
how
season 5.
he can approach people and act in this way and not like fucking break or feel like physically in pain, because if I ever were that awkward to anybody, like it would like set me on fire.
I like he is from Canada, and if you watch the stuff that he did while he was in Canada, the
I have
Nathan for You stuff,
We have
um
cities, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this hour and 20 minutes, 22 minutes I think is what he was
He
on.
was on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
um
Interesting.
he had a little special called Nathan Fielder on Your Side, and he would just do the same things that he does for Nathan for You, but if you look at that compared to like how like they react in America, in like Canada, the awkwardness, it's not like
Well, I think it's because in Canada they knew, like the people he was interviewing knew it was for that show, and that show is like kind of like SNL Daily Show up
Yeah.
there, right, Chewy?
Thank you
Like you,
for someone acknowledging that I'm like from Canada
you're
or
welcome.
something. I
It's
wouldn't.
pretty popular. People like know about it and that it's a comedy show,
I'm not
right?
even sure if it's still on anymore. Cause there was a
Well, like,
while where, sorry,
when it was,
yeah, it was fairly popular. It was like on CBC, which is kind of like the BBC,
okay.
right.
Okay.
and
So
so it
it's
was fairly popular there.
popular up there, so like people would know they were being interviewed for this hour's 22 minutes, but down here they don't know what the fuck Nathan for you is.
Which is weird because it's got like
And
three
I hear
seasons
they
now.
get I hear they get told that it's like an MTV show most of the time or something. When it comes to like the businesses, when it comes to the
That's fucked up.
businesses,
I should watch this
That's
show.
so funny.
Oh yeah, you should. It's
I don't
really
have
good.
time for
Um,
reasons I'll explain in a
An
moment.
MTV show.
it's just like some MTV show, and then it, what happens happens.
it's
Oh,
a
I'm gonna be scouring Craigslist for the next couple months though, and looking for any weird ads.
Well,
I
I'm
don't know if I
sure. I
want to
mean,
be
I'm
doing
sure you'll
that.
find plenty,
I
but
know.
Yeah.
just a one of the things that show does that reminded me of another thing that another show does that I really like is like with Tim and Eric, how they would just like check like for like to get like extras and stuff. They just look for like local like people who wanted to like act and then just pick them up and make them do all those weird things on
That's
that show.
companies like shtick, absolutely productions. Like
Yeah,
that's what like all of them do. Like Eric Andre and fucking all of them.
I think that shit's great,
I
honestly.
love Eric
that is
Andre.
excellent.
I love that show. Oh my
Oh
god. I just
man,
turned my friends onto that show. Like I told them to watch it like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and I was hanging out with them watching a certain movie, and they're like, yeah, man, we just started watching the Eric Andre show, and they're like, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I wasn't lying. Like, I don't lie. It's not what I do.
It's true.
I,
Eric
Great
Andre
show.
was like the first like show that really turned me on to like really out there like comedy, I guess, because I was like
left field anti-humor.
13. Yeah, like anti-humor, yeah, kind of. Because I was like
Funny.
13 and it was on Adult Swim, and I just like I used to leave my TV on when I slept, and one day I woke up after having this horrid nightmare, and Eric Andre show was on, and it was this like
Not
combination.
surprising.
Yeah, yeah. It almost felt like I was still dreaming because I refused to believe that it was like a real show. Like it was like season one, so they were still doing like the talk show
Oh
hosted
yeah.
by like he's kidnapped and held their shtick, and it just really was a weird experience. But what else has everybody else been up to?
I will go next because I also have been playing Fallout 4 almost every day for the last 5 weeks. Just playing it. I'm like 79 hours into it, and I can't stop playing it. And
Yeah, I'm like
it's becoming a real problem.
Have you beaten it yet?
Oh, I beat it like 10 hours ago.
Oh, okay,
Ah,
cool.
I
I
haven't
can't
yet. I've just been fucking running around doing everything else.
can't stop, and
I
I
think
don't
that's the
like it.
first person that I know that's beaten it.
Hate that fucking game. And then, uh, what else am I doing? I've been doing some school stuff. Like I'm going back to school to get another degree. Hopefully that works out if I get into this school, and some stuff at home with the parents and getting them ready to do things, and the normal stuff I do on top of that, and still working at 2 jobs, so GameStop at a coffee emporium of some kind, and GameStop is leveling out because that was tumultuous for a while. Um, and probably the most exciting thing is, so me and my friends, like I have like a few circles of friends, clearly. Well, not clearly. I'm not. I got sort of brag about the amount of friends I have, but yeah. So one of my circles of friends, we get burritos and then we watch a bad movie. That's just become the new thing for us. And so I had a list. Like, this time I had a presentation set up. I even had like the presentation was so like meta at some point that I had written down the presentation, like what I was actually going to say on my phone and there were cues on my phone that said "rate on your phone," and there were mistakes on it that I put there to read out loud to say this is a mistake. And so we had 6 movies, but the movie that won out was the classic, a true urban piece of music. Music? No, I meant film. Film, yes. The Postman. What a movie that is!
The
Holy
Postman?
shit! With Kevin Costner.
I've never heard of
I think
this.
I've heard of this movie.
The
Maybe.
Postman.
Oh, fucking Postman. Yeah, that is a
Holy
novel.
fuck! I don't even. You want me to give you a rundown what happened in this movie?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm very interested.
Okay, so the movie starts out, and you think the Postman, you're probably thinking, oh, it's like a post-apocalyptic movie where this fucking dude has like 8 6 shooters and he just goes into town and cleans people up. It kind of starts like something like that. When Kevin Costner has an actual jackass called Bill. He's an actual donkey, actual mule, and he has flashbacks to like the '80s, like when
I
he
got
looks at certain. Sorry.
sorry. It's windy and it's from my car. Go on.
So he had like weird flashbacks of like the '80s and times before some calamity, which are not clear on. Like I don't know if it's a civil war or some kind of like nuclear like fallout thing, or like not like fallout, but like nuclear, like a nuclear holocaust,
Yeah.
something, nuclear fire.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it was like a civil insurgent, like insurgency, or I'm not sure like if it's resources. Because it also starts with going like, this is a lake in Salt Lake. It's dry. I'm like, okay, did something happen there? Doesn't really explain anything, but the government doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, okay, and like no one exists anymore, and it takes place in Oregon, and so it starts out with this wandering dude. Yeah, and it's like, okay, it's gonna be like Book of Eli shit, except it's greener and there's like water. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Costner is visiting like this frontier town because apocalypse, no more like life that was cool or anything like that. I don't know. And then he performs the Shakespeare play with the mule for these local like fucking Oregon bumpkins or whatever the fuck. And then these random dudes come in looking like the Brotherhood of Steel and demanding tithes and shit from this random town. Because apparently that's what they do. They go around to all these towns, like all these like local little pop-up towns that have like emerged out of whatever calamity has happened. And then Kevin Costner tries to run away, and then some kid baits him out, and then they capture Kevin Costner. And then you find out it's an army that forcibly puts people into their army, and that's how they keep afloat. And Kevin Costner wakes up, and the sound of music is on a projector, projecting onto a mountain or some shit, in like a gulag or some shit like that, where he's being forced to work or something like that. And that's the thing about it is I'm only getting started. So what else happens is that he escapes with some dude because apparently it's some weird eugenics thing where this guy, the main guy of this random brotherhood place, I don't even remember what the fuck it's actually called. He wants pure people, and so this one man who's like he's like mixed clearly, and he gets tortured, and I don't know. I mean, you kidnapped a guy because they kidnapped a bunch of guys from this town, and they're like, "Oh, you're impure." Like, well, okay, this is your fault though. But anyway, so Kevin Costner's like, "Fuck this shit. I'm done with this shit. I don't eat gruel anymore. I'm leaving." So him and that random dude from Friends, that is Phoebe's like brother, who like is married to
Oh,
Katie from that '70s show, is in it, and he looks like more like a messed out Ryan Gosling than ever, and he's in it. And then there's a lion that got out of the zoo apparently, but you never see the zoo. But there's a lion there, and Kevin Costner jumps into some kind of lake or river to get away, and the other 2 people he planned to escape with come after him, and then messed up Ryan Gosling man from the Friends show is like, I found him, and then Kevin Costner like straight like Sam Fishered him with a blade. Okay, am I losing you guys here?
I
No,
Okay.
I'm still here.
So he just shanks him in the stomach and then puts him down easy. And some other dude from the weird Brotherhood faction comes and tries to kill him, but the random really tall like dude, I forget his name, who's actually kind of cool, I guess. I don't know, but he kind of seems like a Michael Clark Duncan. What's I can't remember the dude from One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the giant native man. Kind of that
Uh,
stereotype, like
Yeah.
silent person of color who's also giant.
Yeah.
And then he gets shot up trying to defend Kevin Costner, and then Kevin Costner runs away, and then it's like, okay, where's this movie going? So Kevin Costner's in the rain, and it kind of looks like Ground Zeroes, and he sneaks into a Jeep that has a skeleton in there, because I still have no idea what's going on, and it's just this man, this dead man with a bunch of mail and some whiskey, and like a lighter, so he drinks the dead dude's whiskey and lighter and starts opening everyone's mail and reads it, or some shit, and steals his uniform and goes to another town and goes like, "Yeah, man, I'm a postman representing the reformed United States government or something," and they're like, "I don't believe you," and so he's reading emails, he's reading mail, and then like the local guard, or whatever, like the sheriff is like, "I'll give you 3 seconds to leave," and every time he reads the wrong mail, he counts down, and he reads this one mail that belongs to like this blind woman there, and they're like, "Oh, it must be the real thing." So the whole town brings them in, and they have their celebration where they're in like some kind of shitty saloon, and fucking he's eating soup, and everyone's praying, and he's like the only one eating. And I don't fucking know. And then that happens, and then the sheriff's like, "Get the fuck out of here," and Kevin Costner's like, "Oh, fine, all right." And then he leaves, and then he goes to another place and does the same thing. But before he did that, there's a woman who comes to him and is like, "Yo, my fucking husband can't reproduce because he had the bad mumps. I have no idea what that means. What are the bad mumps? So what, they're like some kind of plague? Who knows? Don't have time to explain that." And then fucking he actually has sex with her, but in the worst or possibly best sex scene I've ever seen. I
Oh.
felt like I had it. Um, fucking the woman
you
comes to him at first when they're dancing apparently after the soup feast, and it's like, oh, she's basically giving him a diagnostic to see if he'd be a good like procreator, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not doing that," and then he's reading all the mail before he sets out because the town gives them all their mail to set out to another place in near Oregon, and she comes in with one like band in her hair and she lets it go, and then she's like, "You sure you don't reconsider?" And I think this guy has like war flashbacks or something because like he hasn't been around with anyone but a mule for probably 10 years or something. And then she takes off her shirt, and he's like, sure." And it's like the music doesn't fit the scene at all, and then they start having sex. I'm like, what? Sure, okay, fine. And that happened, and then she leaves, and then he leaves, and he goes to another town, and then he does the same thing, and then the Brotherhood faction, whatever the fuck, come after him, and they're like, "Where the fuck is this guy?" And they proceed to go into the old town where he was before and kill that woman's husband, because I forgot to mention she's married. No, I think I mentioned that. I just can't remember. And stabs him up with
and
a
then
rapier, like extended elegant blade, and then like fucking tries to, what else did he fucking do? Doesn't matter because nothing matters. And then he leaves town with the woman, because he thought she was hot, and he killed her husband because he said he didn't want to fucking let the leader of that Brotherhood faction like have sex with her because he was trying to do some like Lord's first right shit, and he's like, nah. So he got stabbed, and so basically they tie her to a horse, and then they take her with him. Meanwhile, Kevin Costner, who the fuck knows what this guy's doing? He's just in another town doing the same fucking lie, whatever. And did I forget to mention fucking Lawrence Tate in this movie? No, I think yes, I did. He's in the fucking movie. Terrible acting, but everyone's a bad actor. And so he's like, "I want to be a postman too." And so Kevin Costner lies and makes him an official postman. Then he disappears when fucking he goes to another town, and the Brotherhood people catch up with him, and then they fucking just burn that town to the ground. But like the music director must have been high or confused because the composition doesn't fit anything, and it's like heroic music while fucking this town's getting exploded. But I guess they decided, hey, not Nicolas Cage. Yeah, he looks a lot like Nicolas Cage in this movie. But they just decide Kevin Costner is going after that woman he has sex with, who apparently was like trying to get him to procreate, but clearly got assaulted by the dude who took her and her dead husband. He's gonna save her, even though she killed like 6 dudes on her own, and Kevin Costner killed like one person and missed everyone else. and he's on horseback, and he takes her, and then they go to a cabin, and then she realizes, oh shit, you've been shot. And then there's some like Last of Us shit happens where it's just winter now, and so no one knows what happens in between that, and they're just like in a cabin trying to survive, and then I guess that's when they get closer or something, whatever. And like that happened, and they leave. She burns down the cabin, and then he comes back, and out of the whole postal service, like started by Lorenz Tate, and it's like 20 kids or whatever, apparently. Okay, and so they decide now he's a freedom fighter. Apparently, I don't know when that happened, but sure, because he didn't want it to fucking happen. And then after that, he fucking goes, all right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start delivering mail to everyone, and I'm gonna start naming cities, which he starts to do. And then to the bit where they're like, oh, we're gonna kill the post office, whatever, and then they make him like burn down the post office, Lorenz Tate, or something like that, and then they kidnap him. But also, fucking Tom Petty is in the movie, but he's in the movie as Tom Petty. Now, I should mention, he's in the movie as Tom Petty. The movie takes place in 2013, like a futuristic 2013. But he's like, Kim Costner's like, aren't you famous or something? And then Tom Petty's like, yeah, once, but not anymore. So like, what the fuck happened? In like, okay, if Tom Petty exists and he's famous enough, so it has to be like at least the war had to have happened in like '89. Because should I also mention they were playing Universal Soldier on the side of that mountain within the Gulag, apparently. So when
I
the
like all
fuck
of
did
these
this
people
happen?
reference.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it ends with them having a confrontation, and I'm now skipping a bunch of shit. And so it ends with them having a confrontation with the random dude from the Brotherhood who's supposed to be like everything anti-American, and he's basically Hitler. Like, because this movie has no idea what kind of theme it's going for and what it wants to say, so it's just saying a bunch of shit, like I am right now. That's why I'm so confused, because the like movie confused me. And then they're fighting, and he's like, "I invoked this law, apparently of your Brotherhood, that we have to fight." And then they fight, and then he spares his life, even though the Brotherhood's law is like you don't spare someone's life. And they're like, "We have to have peace." And then the dude is like dying on the ground, and he steals like someone's 6-shooter and tries to shoot fucking Kevin Costner, but one of his lieutenant generals shoots him and be like, well, no, we have to have peace. And I should also mention that he was trying to reach St. Rose, Oregon the whole time and never got there. And then it's 2043, and now everyone has like cameras and it's like a cable station, and everything looks perfectly nice like it was like 2002 or something. Because I don't know what the hell happened, but apparently like society's up and running again. And now this guy's glorified as a freedom fighter, basically, and he has a statue in St. Rose, and now he's just the postman. And that's how the movie ends!
Wow. You did a better job than I would
How,
have.
how long is this movie?
It's 3 fucking hours! I shit you not! It could have
Why?
ended 4 times!
Wow.
Thanks for putting up with that, guys. I have to vent that. Because me
I
and my friend afterward, like, we all went home, and we're in the car for like 15 minutes, he was driving us back. I'm like, what just happened? No one knew. And that, my friends, is how my week has been.
it says here that its budget was $80 million and it got back 17.6 million.
Yes.
That sucks. He directed the movie too, Kevin Costner.
Yeah. It was after Waterworld.
Fuck.
Jesus.
So I have no idea how someone's like, you know what? Fuck it, do it again.
Try again. What if you fail once? Do it again.
Jesus.
Oh,
I
All right, I'll be right back. I gotta do my laundry.
all right.
Hang
I,
tight.
I would understand after sitting through that explanation.
The
Anyhow.
it won 5 Razzies. Worst actor, worst director, worst picture, worst screenplay, and worst original song.
Sounds about right. The music direction is I can't even believe. And you know the '90s, like everyone decided orchestral score was the standard for what like a good soundtrack would sound like.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's like trash tier. Kind of like how, and I'm gonna lose some I don't know fans whatever of the show. It's kind of like how Silverchair came out in 1995. Was like, hey man, grunge is cool and that's new. And that's what this soundtrack sounds like. Something so removed from anything original, and it has no concept of emotional tone. It just sort of happens in and out. Like, what the fuck? Terrible. Everyone should watch it.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch that goddamn movie.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch this sometime because it sounds like right up my alley.
Everyone needs to
I
watch
feel
it.
like I wouldn't watch this by myself
No, you have to watch it with someone. Actually, no,
because
you don't fucking have to, because it might be more magical to watch it by yourself. I think both are. It's kind of like playing Call of Duty online. You can play by yourself and put on some music and have a good time, or if you're in a party, you can also play and just talk shit and have a good time. I think both are viable.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check this out one day because I've never really watched like a bad post-apocalyptic movie, and this just sounds like the perfect example of that.
The thing is, he had two movies. He
But
had two Waterworld, which is a post-apocalyptic movie, and fucking The Postman, which
but
is
water,
also a post-apocalyptic movie.
yeah. But Waterworld is like so like far away from like what I want in a post-apocalyptic movie that I don't even like. I want just some dude who's like wandering around in a desert, and Waterworld is quite possibly the exact opposite of that.
I mean, it's kind of like Wind Waker is technically a post-apocalyptic game. Like,
Yeah, but
in
Wind
a,
Waker is good.
yeah, I'm just saying it's a
Oh,
post-apocalyptic by
okay.
design. Yeah, that movie is post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it's definitely Waterworld's definitely post-apocalyptic. It's just not what I look for in
It's
like
quite terrible.
post-apocalyptic. Yeah. I think I saw like this Waterworld live thing at Universal or something. It's weird that
what?
they're yeah. I went to Universal when I was 10, and my fucking parents dragged me to this Waterworld live thing because when I used to go to amusement parks with like my family, I hated going to the shows. I just wanted to like dick around in the
One of the
haunted mansion
rides.
for like 8 hours, and so we'd end up going to these shows, and I'd always just be in a really bad mood. And I remember one of the shows was just Waterworld live, and it's like 20 minutes of this Kevin Costner lookalike riding around on a wave rider trying to stop these like pirates. And
I need to watch the movie again. I don't remember it.
I don't remember anything from Waterworld live. It was just a like a I remember walking away from it just being really confused as to what was going on, and it was just not great. uh, what else has everybody been up to?
Wait,
RJSU.
was that what was that all? Was that all Chewy? Just the postman?
Uh,
All.
wait. I guess I had one more. I started playing Bloodborne again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Did you
man,
pick up
this
the old
game's so damn
hunters?
good. No, I'm scared because like I'm not sure how much you played of it, Danny, but I know you played it. You know the
I beat it.
Bloodstarved Beast?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a normal enemy in that fucking DLC. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Are you
I
real?
can't. And for serious, yeah, he's a normal enemy.
Holy fuck.
Like, I'm not doing that to myself.
Holy fuck.
It's scary.
He like responds and everything. Like,
I'm guessing, yeah.
because
Also, he's
gone.
like I don't think he. I probably don't think my friend and manager at like EV Games was telling me, yeah, man. So I downloaded it, and basically it's like if you think you have a grasp on Bloodborne, no, just no. Like it will put you in your place. The old hunters really fast,
Yeah, I
and so
heard.
I'm not. No, go on.
I was just gonna say I heard that like the first boss of that DLC. I watched this guy called Lobos, and he's really into the Souls games and shit. He said that the first boss of that DLC might be the hardest boss ever in a Souls game, and I'm not sure if I can handle that or not.
Yeah, I mean, I played up to the one reborn, and I just beat him. Like, yeah, and I was like I punched my like desk. I was like, fucking yes, yes, I beat this guy. And I'm like, to think. And that was on New Game Plus. And so anytime you go into the old hunters, it takes your actual difficulty into account. So to think it's gonna do that on New Game Plus, no, no fucking
Yeah,
way am I doing
fuck
that.
that. Fuck that.
Still, my favorite game of the year, probably.
Oh really? Bloodborne's your game of the year?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn, that's really over Fallout 4.
Yes, it's better than Fallout 1.
That's just
You've
surprising to
heard
me
it here
because I've heard you've
first.
put so many hours into Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, I did, but I have like 90 hours in Bloodborne.
Oh damn, I didn't know that. Jeez.
Yeah,
Jeez.
just couldn't stop, and it's perfect. Like it's. I think my thing about Bloodborne, I don't want to get too much into Game of the Year, because I feel like we're probably gonna do something like that
Yeah, we
soon.
are. Yeah, we are.
But I will say this about Bloodborne. I think there's a lot of games this year that did really great things, but did have like things they didn't do good so well, and which is perfectly
Yeah.
fine because I think a game with blemishes is more character, like has more character than the game that's like
Yeah.
perfectly shiny and supposed to appeal to everyone. But Bloodborne is kind of like in a weird way the opposite, where it's very specific in what it does, and it doesn't appeal to everyone, and it's perfect in what it does.
Mm.
Like I can't think of something that would make you like, okay, it didn't do this right. It's about destroying you, and if you can best it, yeah. Also, hey man, you like art styles? Fuck, I have something for you then.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing about Miyazaki's games that I've noticed is they all seem to be very paintomatic, where instead of like cinematic and look trying to look like a movie, it's almost like
It's very
every
painterly.
shot. Yes, it's
Yeah.
almost like every shot looks like a painting. Incredible. I'm
Yeah, I mean, like Dark Souls 2 are like that. I don't know, something about like Bloodborne style is like no one is doing that. I don't want if I say what kind of art style it is, it might spoil it for someone
Oh yeah,
who
yeah,
who hasn't beat it. Because there's a point in that game where it's like, you thought you knew what's going on? Fuck you, you don't know anything.
yeah. There's a
You're
bait
like,
and switch.
oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Anyway,
a
that's all I gotta say.
All right. Um, I guess RJ, do you want to go next or?
Yeah, sure, I'll pick it up because mine's relatively pretty short. Still been playing a lot of Street Fighter naturally. Um, except mixing in a little Street Fighter Third Strike in there
Oh,
because apparently there's a way to play that online on PC. So that's nice. Um, I've been doing a lot of re-listening to
Yeah.
albums from this year and catching up on some. Uh, and that involved listening to two of the worst albums I've heard this year. Um, one being that Miley Cyrus album, and the other, the worst album being Kid Cudi's. What's it called again?
Speeding
Speeding
bullet to heaven.
Bullet to Heaven. With
You
the two.
wait. So okay, we got to talk about this when Chewy gets back. Chewy just left to go stir some curry. So since
Okay.
this is just you and me,
So this is
we
Speeding
should
Bullet.
have some Capcom Cup talk right
Yeah,
now
this is
because we did that as well. So briefly turning this into Street Fighter cast, and we kind of talked about it a little bit before, but we might as well make it
Mhm.
official.
Might as well.
What are your thoughts on Elena Fighter 4?
Elena Fighter 4. Like, are you talking about like the character Elena?
Yes, and more specifically, the new meta that is
The
coming about
new.
ever since DreamHack.
I think that. Well, I think that meta is already starting to dwindle a little bit because she wasn't very prevalent in a Capcom Cup, but she's still more prevalent online than
Yeah,
before, certainly.
yeah,
And as the character Elena, I think, like, I do think that she does need some balancing,
Stop
definitely.
talking about Street Fighter.
huh?
Stop talking about Street Fighter. It's gonna be. Oh wait, never mind. Chewy's not here. Go on.
Well, look, you leave it to us, and then here we are, welcome to Street Fighter.
Yep, welcome to Street Fighter. But like people have been calling Elena Street Fighter cancer, and I'm not sure. Like, do you agree with that statement?
No, because I think it's just one of those things where it's like this new meta comes out, and once the meta gets conquered, it'll all be okay.
Do you
Because
think
there'll
that?
be some way to, like, she might even get banned in tournaments, maybe if it doesn't get patched or something. It'll just, that'll just be it, if that's the case.
Well, yeah, like there are so many people I've seen on like Reddit and YouTube, who are saying that Street Fighter is dead. Street Fighter 4 is dead to them now. Like it's just not a fun game anymore, and they're just gonna, you know, wait until 5 comes back and maybe play some like Third Strike in the meantime. And I'm not sure if I think Street Fighter 4 is dead yet.
No, because people still play it online pretty
Yeah,
consistently.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
thing.
Especially, which is interesting, after Capcom Cup, it kind of died out for a couple of days. I noticed there weren't
Yeah.
that many people online, but they came back. They always come back.
It's
And
just, competitively, it's pretty dead. Like, a lot of the big competition is going to be gone because you're going to be moving on to the next game.
do you think it's going to get played at Evo?
Yeah, it's still gonna get. They're still gonna. It's still gonna go to the Evo.
Okay.
But I think this might be its last year at Evo.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, I know you just jumped in pretty recently, but do you like think Ultra is one of the better Street Fighter games, or
I played 2, and I played 3, and I played 4. And if I were to rank them, I would probably I don't know, because like there are things that I like about Ultra, and I like most of the stuff about Ultra. Like I like that it has the stupid complex execution heavy combos. While some of it is kind of annoying to do, like 1 frame links and 2 frames and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like it makes for fun stuff and fun stuff to watch too.
Yeah, definitely.
And the art style it's hit or miss, because like sometimes some days I like it, some days I don't.
I think it captures that 3D 2D fighter aesthetic a lot better.
Yeah. Five's definitely better. But sometimes I look at 5 and I'm like, you know, I don't mind the cartoony looking stuff.
Oh, I think sorry to interrupt. Anyway, I'm not like having played 5 for a couple of the betas now. It looks really really nice.
Yeah, the new
In
beta is coming up
motion,
in 4 days.
it looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a ton of animation in the thing. Like it makes going back to Street Fighter 4 if you play enough fight like all right. But like I love Street Fighter 4. It's like one of my favorite games of all time. But it's like 5. If it's one thing, 5 I know it's better than 4, and it's like it looks so smooth. It's kind of ridiculous.
Who have you mostly played in the beta again?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Ryu. So I think I'm gonna Ryu down.
Oh no!
How do you feel? Do you know about all the nerfs that's been going on with Ryu lately?
I don't know. I've literally been like the last round of beta I played. I'm like, all right, I don't need to play this game again.
Okay, well basically, um, does it didn't wait his middle Tatsu hit low, right? Am I
Uh, it hit low.
Yeah.
I think it did.
They took that away.
Oh,
Um, let's
oh.
see. What else did they do? Because
He
like,
can't do he has to be jumping forward if he's doing
oh
a Tatsu. He can't do a neutral one or a backwards one anymore.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
yeah, he can't.
He's the only
He,
Shoto that can't as well. Like Ken can still do it, and Ryu can't.
Oh, wow, that's a pretty
um,
big nerf. Like,
I,
how are they balancing it? Like, how they what
they're
the fuck
They're
they're
is it?
not
not.
like his walk
Holy
speed is
shit!
faster. Uh,
His parry used to get like what a
oh
third
yeah,
of his V
uh,
bar, and now it gets a 12th of his V bar.
Wow,
It's
um,
damn man.
yeah.
and like I think a lot of his like links and stuff got like don't work anymore.
Wow, there was a one link he had where he had a standing, I feel like a standing heavy kick, and you can link that into a few things. I'm not sure if that's still there.
Oh, I think they took that away.
Is he still as strong as he was
No.
though?
No, he's ass.
Yeah.
He's certified ass.
Why the fuck would you do that to Ryu? Why of all characters? Ugh, why?
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Yeah. It
My
was
favorite
pretty. It
character.
was pretty
I
fucked.
I hope that they buff him back to.
I think the beta's on right now. I might actually go check that, see what's going on.
I think I don't know if like
I,
they're doing tests or anything, but it's coming like officially back in 4 days.
yeah. On the 18th, which I'm excited for because I'll be able to play it and get my hands on that. But
Is the
oh
Sorry, is the beta cross? Is that cross platform too?
no, but
I know
I've
the
got
game
a
is.
I've got a friend who's got a PS4, and he pre-ordered SFV, so I'm gonna try and play it on the 18th. I'm not sure if that still works, but
It might. Sure.
yeah.
Star Wars game?
Star Wars, yeah, Star Wars is coming out too. There's a Star Wars coming out, but
That's
everybody's back, so we can talk about music again.
yeah.
Speed and Bullet to Heaven.
I'm
Speed and
upset.
Bolt to Heaven. That was bad. Mike Judge did Beavis and Butthead skits on a Kid Cudi album.
Wait, Speeding
Uh,
Bullet to Heaven? Oh yeah, that came out. I don't remember that.
I
Oh,
because I just my
Whoa,
curiosity.
I didn't
oh,
fucking listen to that. I mean, I heard Indica. I,
oh!
I
It's
didn't hear
so
Indica.
much worse.
Indica's bad.
It's so much worse than
That's bad, man. Indica's
Oh,
really bad. The
it's
thing about
bad.
Indica Like
I've
Indica,
never
I was
heard of
like,
it, but I'm sure that this is
I,
worse.
I was defending it against my friend for a while because this is when I was still convinced that Kid Cudi could do things. So like what 2013 when that came again, a movie game
The
movie.
small
What's the other
laughter from
what's the
friends.
other medium? Yeah, that album came out and I bought it and I heard it back to like front to back like 5 times in a
Mhm.
row, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. The stuff he's trying to do is interesting. Like he's trying to expand his palette and stuff. And then the more I thought about it, like this was around April, I think of 2013 that came out. And then I remember one time we were downtown, like Toronto, we were just chilling, and like there was a record store I went into. It's not my usual record store I go into. I just went in there, and at this point I had Indica in my like in one of my bags for like 2 months. And I went in there and I sold the album. He's like, "I'll give you $3." I'm like, "Good, that's bus fare." Sold the album. I paid like $16 for it. I didn't even care. I was like ashamed to have that album after a while. And it's one of those moments I have where I'm like, my initial judgment is wrong, and I am not too proud to admit when my initial judgment is wrong, or that judgments can change. And that was one of the moments where I'm like, it's okay to admit. It's worse to pretend like a thing. And then he had that album that came out last year that I didn't give a fuck about.
I don't think
Like I
anybody gave
heard,
a fuck about that one.
I,
yeah, and
I didn't listen to it either.
I don't know
I've
if
only
anyone
listened to like
watched Kid
2 or
Cudi for
3.
some time.
What was that, Maddie? You're very quiet right now.
Am I?
Yeah, you're
Sorry.
better now. You're better now.
Holding my sweater.
Yeah, it's all good.
I said I don't think anyone has cared about Kid Cudi for some time.
Well, except for
there's
dedicated
still
Kid Cudi fans.
like Travis Scott. He's also shit, so I don't know what that
Yeah.
means. But yeah, I don't know. 'Cause it's like it's kind of tragic because he wasn't. Kid Cudi's such an interesting character for hip hop. He's gonna be one of those. I hope someone does like a look at Kid Cudi at what he did for hip hop because he did a few things. He was actually there for 808s. Like
Yeah,
808s
no,
wouldn't
that's
exist
what.
without Kid Cudi.
Yeah, that's.
It was really cool seeing him come out because he was at the show that I went to, so that was pretty cool. And I was like, all
Yeah,
right, that's
like
neat.
he was part of the creative, kind of like how like Kendrick had like a creative team
Yeah,
around Timber Butterfly. I think it was there. Kid Cudi. I
yeah.
had no
Probably
idea he was. I'm sorry.
like everybody was there for that album. So
Yeah,
proud.
it's kind of interesting though that he's like I had no idea he was a dropout art school student, which it's kind of that makes him like more interesting considering
Yeah.
he's not what you would think of when you think of an art school student.
It's it's
Like
it's very funny to me that like two of Kanye's like pupils have just
so
gone down the shit.
let me tell
Like
you something about Kanye. Kanye's like the type of dude that he's a great comic, but his like opening acts are crap.
Mhm.
yeah,
Or like Jordan, who like fucking, I mean, it's fucking Jordan, and he's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna co-fund the Charlotte Bobcats. This is back when they were the Bobcats. Yeah, like they're shit. So I don't know. It happens sometimes. Like you get someone who like clearly has like a lot of creative skill, and like it's difficult. It's a weird anomaly, but it happens often. Like when you surround yourself with something you think like all right, I can see this in him, and you're like I don't know, you're looking at him, but you like they need glasses, like get some water, like your vision's all fucked.
yeah. Like good music is probably like the
Trash.
opposite.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck! I remember my friends like, yo, that Cruel Summer mixtape came out. I'm like, all right, true, I love Kanye. And it's back before I had like real issues with Kanye, and I'm like, man, Kanye, what the fuck is this? What are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
inventing over here?
Yep.
Like, I heard that thing like, and I love listening to the whole album. Like, I think I started listening to the whole album. Like, I think when I in grade 12, and I really start to just love the idea of like a whole body of work. I'm like, man, I wish this whole thing was like 2 songs. That way it'd be less painful. That's what I
Yep.
thought about that thing.
Speaking of painful, the Speed and Bullet to Heaven is 18 songs, and like
Oh my god!
how many of
No,
them
but
are like
that's not even
acoustic
that's
demos?
not the whole track list is 26.
Oh, okay,
That's
my bad.
oh my god!
Like
That's
Yeah,
so
the
it's like
but the
90 songs.
demos are in the track list. They're not bonus tracks.
oh my god! They're
This
spliced
is the
in.
whole meal.
Yeah,
Yes, they're
Yeah.
real. These are
Oh
tracks.
no! That's kind of like how I mean that's like the funny thing I find about Mad City is like, so like disc two. If you put disc two, if you try to fit that into Mad City, it'd be a less good album.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
It'd be
absolutely.
definitely,
significantly worse.
definitely.
still be a great album, but it'd be like instead of being, in my opinion, I'm like a 9.5. It'd be like an 8.5. Because I'd fuck up the basing because the basing's perfect.
Yeah.
And I
But
can't even imagine who the fuck does that.
it's like the Good Kid, Mad City of bad albums. Like,
Oh, wow.
What?
Holy shit.
first of all,
What
did
does
you?
that
I don't know
mean?
if you knew this, but it's grunge.
Yeah, no, I knew
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah,
randomly read a tweet. Actually, no, not a tweet. Because I check. Let's say I check certain sites to see where albums appear, and I decide, okay, what am I doing with this thing?
yeah,
And then someone was describing it as like, oh, well, it's kind of like this. And then I went to the wiki. I think it's on the wiki. So describing the process behind it. And he said he took heavy influences from grunge music and stuff like that. And I think I'm not sure if you look up the wiki now, but like it was under like the description of the genre like hip hop, grunge, and like psychedelic. I'm like, what?
yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Which I mean, that sounds like it could have been
No,
good.
no, it doesn't. You know why this
I
sounds like
like
it could be good?
psychedelia and I like hip hop. It might work.
No, I mean that does work. I mean, there's
Yeah, yeah.
psychedelia on To Pimp a Butterfly. There's lots of psychedelia on that album.
Yeah,
My thing is like, uh, did you any of you guys hear Wizard?
yeah,
I
yeah.
heard some of it.
Yeah,
I at least heard the Lead Belly cover. The Lead
yeah.
Belly.
Back then, he was into like trying to get influences from Nirvana. Back
Yeah.
then, and I'm like, this is not working. He had that one song, "Teleport to Me" or something, where he's like playing guitar on it. I'm like, okay.
There's a lot of him playing guitar on it on
There
this record.
the whole album is him playing
My
guitar.
thing is, I can appreciate the idea of like doing things you're not great at in music because I might be like maybe it's because like it's part of my philosophy when I make music. I'm not plugging my shit, but I feel like a lot of people have said. I remember when Tom York used to say like, "Yeah, sometimes I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, and that's just how I work." Like he goes into an instrument like not really knowing.
Mhm.
And sometimes when you come at something from a different angle or you splice things together in a way that's not conventional, it can be really interesting. Like 808s is like kind of like I can't fucking sing, but 808s is a really really profoundly interesting album because like it's
808s was my
yeah
favorite for a while.
like it's the sum of the parts that come together. Sometimes
Exactly.
you don't see it until it's all together.
Yeah.
Like remember that man I fucking hate talking about my own music. Remember that EP I did before? I'm like, what the fuck am I doing for a while? Like I had an idea and I'm like, oh no, I made a
Yeah.
thing. And then I finished the last cover and I put it all together. I'm like, oh,
It is.
okay, this straight up drone song works. Like you just never know sometimes.
You just gotta
Now
do
with
You
it.
never
Kid Cudi,
know.
you definitely fucking know it's shit.
Kid Cudi's lost his fucking mind, honestly. Like,
My favorite line in the whole album is
Oh god,
oh,
this
what is it? Hold
55.
on a second. Let's see, what is it?
God.
No more chicken sandwiches. I'll pay for the damages.
Oh man.
It's
Wow, I braced myself. Like I'm on my couch and I changed my stance to ready myself. I wasn't ready. Holy shit!
oh man,
I gotta start quoting that at work and then like to my other friend, like one of my friends at work, he listens to it, so I listen to it. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, don't worry, Brett. Don't worry about it.
the genius for this album, because I did a read through because I didn't want to miss out on anything that
Oh,
might be
I
on this.
I
I
might
did
need
that.
I might
I
need
did
to hear
do
this
that.
album.
You
Yeah,
might
so
need to. It was actually so painful it gave me a headache. So I mean, tops off to that. Uh, but yeah, the genius for this album, you can tell that it's just Kid Cudi like stands, because like some of the songs like they're like for the one off Confused is something about like it finds our hero fighting for his inner peace or something
Oh,
like
is it
that.
Common again? Is it Common still narrating?
What?
Because Common used to narrate his shit. Like he narrated what's his first album called again? Man on the Moon. He narrated that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't really remember if there's too much narration on this. I don't even think there's any narration. The closest you get to narration
No,
really is
I know. There's none of that on
is
this.
is you get Beavis and Butthead
Yeah, that's
chiming
the
in on their
closest you get.
thoughts of every song, every other
Uh,
song.
they do
What? What?
shrooms to try to understand Kid Cudi's music at one point.
What?
And this is legit Mike Judge.
Yeah.
I thought it was an impersonation. This is Kid Cudi brought Mike Judge into the studio and said, "Please do the Beavis and Butthead voices for my
Didn't he
album."
like sample? I'm not sure. Did he sample like Michael Bolton or straight up have Michael Bolton on the song at one point? Not on this album. I think it was Indica.
It was that was
So
Indica. Yeah.
yeah, so he like
It's all
so
up his
many.
goddamn face.
But really, this
Yeah,
is you recently yeah he oh my god the first I searched up Michael Bolton Indica and the first article is Kid Cudi found an uncle in Michael Bolton during Indica.
Oh
It's
my god.
great,
I
but
don't know.
That's line of the year of that particular year.
I haven't listened to that Dead Pets record yet. That new
Oh yeah,
Do
Miley.
I listened
not
to
Fuck that.
do it.
I'm not. You
Do
know what? I don't
not.
think I can listen to like an album ironically, like a whole album. I don't think I can do that to myself. When I think about
No,
it.
I don't listen to them ironically. I mean, it's gotten to the point to where I just need to I need to know what the worst release
yeah,
of this year is.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's kind of ironic though. No, I mean like it's bad, and so you're deriving enjoyment that is not intended
No, I'm not
from
getting
what.
enjoyment out of it.
yeah, most of the time there's no enjoyment.
I mean, I'm
There's
saying
some
like yeah,
okay, there was some enjoyment with Kid Cudi because no more chicken sandwiches, I'll pay for the damages and Beavis and Butthead. But but after a certain point, there was no joy. There was no funny left. There was no funny left. It was just
yeah, but
you're here
it's.
now.
I mean, it's kind of like I can watch a bad movie and find that funny, but I'm not sure if I can listen to like a bad album and like a whole album, maybe a song. Like I tried to like I remember when we kind of did sort of like a catch up listen to that Muffin and Sons album. It was like me, you,
Oh
Maddie,
yeah.
and I'm saying RJ by the way, not you, then Danny. Sorry, Danny.
No, it's
Well,
okay.
not actually not sorry. Fuck, man, you saved yourself some shit.
I,
Like,
I kind of see like here's the thing. I know, and it really depends when it comes to bad albums, because I know that Mumford and Sons album is bad in a way that what I'm going to get is just not going to be interesting and it's going to be
yes,
really
yes, I was
boring.
gonna say yes.
Yeah, that
But
one's
I
just
do
like
think
straight
there's a
up boring.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
like
listening to the
boring.
air pass through your ears.
But I do think there's a threshold of like this is so bad it's interesting, and I
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what
never
I'm
go
saying.
into that like ironically. It's more of a wow, this is something I've never heard before. This
But what
is
I want, excuse
Learn
me.
from others' mistakes.
I want to know
Violet.
what's next for Kid Cudi after this. I'm interested.
Mostly retirement, man. Because honestly, this is like
I
4 bad albums in a row at this point.
what if he's just beefhearting it up right now? Like, what if in like 10 years we're gonna
yeah,
look back and be like,
this
oh
is
my
Kid
god,
Cudi.
Cudi, the genius.
Kid Cudi is the new outsider artist.
Honestly, I
He's
would
going
call
the
Speed and
outsider
Bullet to
art.
have an outside art. I really would call Speed and Bullet to have an outsider art
One of the
because
descriptors on RY and on Rate Your Music is this is now labeled outsider music. So
it is because Kid Cudi is he has hip hop mentalities and he's a hip hop artist and he's making grunge music and that's
in 2015,
by definition that's outsider art
that is.
and it definitely sounds like outsider art. I don't know,
I don't
man.
know, man. I think outside of art is like, what's the word? I'm thinking about what's the fucking word. I'm not trying to label all outside art bad, but I think it's something you could safely tuck under a moniker and be like, oh well, it's just doing this. Like instead of like you can use like people sometimes use outside of art to mask bad things.
Yeah.
And like, oh, it's outside art. I'm like, well, I don't think you can do that for
Pretty
everything.
bad.
Like, some I don't like Dean Blunt, but that's generally outside art, and I can see the merits of what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But like Kid Cudi, nah, that I'm shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it,
okay,
but
yeah.
I
You're
know.
right. You're right. It's not outsider art. It's just shit.
Just shut it
I'm
down.
on your
Shut
side
it
now.
down. Shut it down.
Because it really isn't.
Yeah, because I mean, if you start doing, I mean, like,
Because most
if you,
outsider art is good. Like Daniel Johnston, Dean Blunt, Captain Beefheart. Those are all like those are. If that's what you're into, it's really good. And
like,
I don't see how
keep in
this album
mind,
could be
like
good.
people like at one point there people like Beck was outsider at some point. Or
Yeah.
even
Beck's
like
early
Double
was
Underground at
definitely,
some point. We're like, what
yeah.
the fuck is
Yeah.
this? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is a song just about like some electric violin. Clearly, no one is using compression here. No one is even trying to settle this album out and pound it right. But that is
Right.
outsider art.
Yeah, like early Sonic Youth and shit. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, but no, Kika, you don't get to do that. You don't get to root it for everyone else. You're not Peter Molyneux like, oh, I'm indie now. No. You can't fucking do that, man. You gotta root for fucking everybody.
The Peter
Fucking it
Molyneux
up.
of music.
I just want to hear what's next.
Oh god.
I want to know what Kid Cudi's gonna do next, if not retire.
It's just
Like-
weird how like for me there wasn't even like a slow decrease. It was just a sharp turn to shit. Because I liked
Yeah.
Man on the Moon, and I know there are a lot of people who don't really like it, but I liked Man on the Moon too as well.
Yes.
I like Day and
So did
Night a
I.
lot.
Man in the Moon 2 that was a brave ass record. It tried to do a lot of things. It didn't do them all well, but man, did he try.
Yeah, and it wasn't like trying like Speed and Bullet, which can you really even say it's trying? I don't know.
He's trying. He's trying something.
But it
Like
was
there was merit to Man in the Moon 2.
uh, like Man on the Moon 2 was good in my opinion, and
Yeah.
and then Indica dropped, and it was just immediate. There was no downturn for me. It
No,
was
actually, no. It was Wizard. Wizard was the thing you're missing. That was
Fuck.
the
Oh
break.
yeah, Wizard is the missing piece.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
right. Wizard is the missing piece.
And even then, that was like about as bad as Indica. And so I was like, what? Wait. Actually, I'll say this about Wizard. We didn't fully know. We're like, wait, this isn't good, but okay. He's gonna get to his next shit. So this is just a bad bump. So yeah, that might be the bridge.
It was the calm before the storm.
But like,
Well, I don't
yeah,
know if it was calm.
like I agree with Danny though with Man of the Moon 2. There are songs on that album that were like really legitimately interesting, like Ghost. That was
Ghost
such
is
a
great,
weird fucking
honestly.
song. It's this weird. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe what that thing is. That song in particular, or like Maniac. Like there are weird songs on that album that are really really interesting, and this album, I don't even know, man. I don't know if I can do this to myself again.
I
Like,
I would say listen to at least the single.
Yeah.
That way you can get a grasp of what's going on,
and
then you
maybe
just
like
don't
one
have
of
to.
the tracks that has a Beavis and Butthead skit, and then
I'll
you've
try.
got the album.
I'll try to do that. I'll try to do that. Yeah. While I'm stirring my curry pot. This fucking,
In my
Whoa.
opinion, the Beavis and Butthead skits are the best part of the album.
that's terrible.
The best part of the album for me is listening to Kid Cudi yell at the top of his lungs.
Oh my god, what
Just-
are you guys describing here? This
He's
monstrosity.
literally just like yelling, confused. It sounds like a gentle giant who's who's learning the world is cool.
Oh my god. Wow. Oh, also in other news, I'm not sure you guys re-listened to him. King Crew had a new album.
Oh yeah. I didn't know if that had dropped or not yet. I need to
No, I
check
did.
that
I've
out.
listened to it like almost every time I turn on my
Is it
phone. Right?
is it good? Are you
It's
digging it?
I like it. It's
Okay.
slightly different from his last thing. It's more hip hop, but it's not. I think that's the interesting thing about it. 'Cause it's kind of hip hop ish, but King Crew is kind of singing, but he's not.
Oh.
Yeah,
And it's kind of poetry, but it's like
it's
an
bluesy.
indescribable thing. Yeah, and it's still kind of like that.
Yeah,
And I think actually the songwriting, the lyrics are actually better and more interesting.
I'll check
But-
that out.
You need if you need to get a feel for King Crew the first time, you're probably gonna need to get another feel for this album.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And anyways, what else you been up to, RJ?
Okay, listen to the bad
Christ.
albums. Listen to the other music.
Oh, I did want to ask you real quick. So,
Yeah.
so that Miley Cyrus record is definitely not as bad as this Kid Cudi record, in your opinion.
No.
Okay.
Kid
Wow.
Cudi definitely worse.
Because
Holy shit!
I've been looking
Because-
to give that Miley a listen just to see if it's as bad as everybody says it is, or like what type of badness I'm looking at, and I wasn't sure which one was going to be worse.
Okay, I'll put it this way. I'll put it short. I was expecting worse from this album, but instead of doing worse than I expected, or doing better, it just did more boring. Like you've got the bad lyricism. Both of them have that. And I was expecting things to be like the first track, "Do It," which was, and then just became a bunch of like psychedelic stuff, quote unquote, and like piano ballads where like she sings about a dead fish at one point, and it's very sad, you know.
Is this sad like Ben sad, like Michael Jackson's song about his pet rat? 'Cause that's legitimately
sure.
quite sad.
No,
Quite-
this
quite
isn't.
sad.
This isn't like actually sad.
Oh, it's just.
It's just sad. But then but giving it the chance of sad, like, and then after, the song's over, she just slams her hands on the piano and goes, "Ha, fuck." or something,
What the fuck?
or something to that extent. It just
Uh,
crushes everything that song could have had emotionally.
wow.
Oh my God.
Man,
And she does that
music has been
twice, back to back, with
music
piano
has been interesting
songs.
in 2015. It's been the
It
best,
has.
literally the best of times. Like
And the
And the
worst of
better than
times.
last year, and literally the
Yeah,
worst of times.
the best of times, the worst of times.
Yes. Oh
honestly.
god.
Um, but yeah, definitely not as bad. More boring. Uh, like where I'd say Speaking to Bolt to Heaven is partially worth some form of listen in a way to see how bad this is. Dead Pets is just like, don't even give it that, because there's nothing else to derive from this.
Right.
Um, but yeah, listen to the bad albums, listen to the good albums. Played Street Fighter, started watching a little Nathan for You as well. And other than that, that's about it.
All right.
So there is no other than that.
I'm trying to run through my shit as quick as possible. Uh, let's see. Been listening to a lot of music as well. Been playing a couple of games from 2013 that I missed out on. Um, like Path of Exile, which is really good.
Oh yeah, that's that
Uh,
card game, isn't it? That's a card game.
no, Path of Exile is a point. It's like
Is that
Diablo.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. It was like a hack and slash, kind of like a Torchlight.
yeah, just like Torchlight actually. Which I think Torchlight 2 came out 2013 as well. Might have been
Yeah, it
2012.
did,
Yeah.
and everyone just forgot about it.
Yeah, those games great. Been playing a lot of WoW as usual. Been playing a lot of Street Fighter as usual. That's just games stuff. I haven't been really doing too much games things though. I played a little bit of Fallout 4. I have interesting thoughts about that. Um, let's see what else. What else? Been listening to just trying to catch up for 2015. Check out some records that I might have missed. Doing a little series on the website if you haven't seen it already. It's called Albums We Missed, and it's just reviews of records that didn't get put up. And
Did you listen to the new Sun album?
I haven't listened to the new Sun album either. And so
I
that's
listened to it recently.
is it good?
Uh, it's okay. It's kind of just it's drone and there's like vocals. It's nothing
Yeah.
really like
I listened to like the first couple songs and I was
it's
like, all
nothing
right.
new. It's
Yeah.
nothing new coming from Sun. It's like when you imagine Sun, it's what you hear,
Okay.
but not even like great. Like in terms of their first solo record in 6 years, it's not what you're wanting.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Cause like Black One had this really good like is the production as good as on Black One, where like the sound like like just fucking surrounds you, or is it just there?
Lesser. It's definitely lesser than that.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Good.
I'm going to be seeing. Oh, that's good that you bring that up though, because I do have some important news. I got my tickets to Levitation as a Christmas
Oh,
gift, and uh, just real briefly, I want to tell you guys who's gonna be at Levitation that I'm interested and very excited in seeing. And for any listeners who might be considering going to Levitation, here are some acts that I might encourage you to go see.
wait, where is Levitation, real quick?
It's in Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And just a couple of bands that I suggest you go see if you're going to head down to Levitation, which is going to be in April 29th to May 1st. First of all, Brian Wilson's going to be performing Pet Sounds.
Fuck you,
So
man.
if you're not seeing
Fuck you. I
that,
knew you would say that. I knew you goddamn say that. So upset.
also Animal Collective is going to be there. If you're not seeing them, go see them. Caribou is going to
Actually,
be there. See Caribou. Flying Lotus, amazing.
Really? Holy
Slow
shit.
Dive, great.
oh,
Really?
Sleep, great. Nicholas
oh,
Jar, great. Brian
Nicholas
Jones,
Jar?
yeah. Brian
Oh,
Jonestown Massacre, great.
man.
okay.
The Black Angels, really fantastic Austin, Texas like psychedelic band. They're awesome. Ty Segall, Ty Segall's great if you like noise rock and
Can
psychedelic
I say one
shit.
thing with Tysical? Can he just like stop?
Yeah, he puts out a lot
Just
of
like
shit.
stop fucking releasing shit,
Yeah,
please. Like goddamn, he had a fucking T-Rex cover album that came out, like 2 weeks ago or something, and then like another Fuzz album that came out like 3 weeks before that. and probably
Yeah.
somewhere another Ty Segall album.
That
'Cause, like,
Fuzz album though, oh my god, that's a good record.
I don't know. I literally can feel nothing for that guy. He's like Ubisoft at this point. Like dead ass. I'm dead serious. Like I feel nothing when I listen to his albums anymore. Like, there's too much of it. Like, it's oversaturated.
Lee Scratch Perry's gonna be there. He's a legend.
Cool.
Sun is gonna be there. That's gonna be cool. I've seen
Oh,
Sun before, and that was indoors, so it'll be interesting seeing them outdoors in a festival. And I hope they're playing at night, so I can feel like I'm getting inducted into like a Swedish cult or something.
naturally.
Boris is gonna be there. That's gonna be fucking
Oh
insane.
wow, Sun and Boris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thurston Moore is gonna be there with his little band. That's cool. Um, Parquet Courts, I like them a lot. Check
Does
them out.
anyone like Thurston Moore anymore?
Uh, I haven't heard his newest band's like
I
thing, but
He just seems like completely unlikable at this point.
I think I listened to like one of his solo things and thought it was alright. I'm gonna listen. I've been meaning to listen to this thing. He did this collaborative thing with Merzbow and some other dude, and I was kind of interested to hear what Thurston Moore and
yeah,
Merzbow sound like.
I listened to that, and it is less noise and more free jazz.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I hear.
yeah. One O Tricks Point Never is probably maybe what I'm most excited for. I don't know. It's a tie between One O Tricks, Animal Collective, and Brian Wilson performing Pet
It
Sounds.
sounds like a really amazing lineup.
Question: Is
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
Ono
that's like-
Tricks or One O Tricks?
One O Tricks.
I've heard people say Ono Tricks, but
No, it's One O Tricks. I mean, maybe it's Ono Tricks. I've never. I don't know honestly.
I know Trick. That like it sounds like a play on like a radio station. So
Yeah.
Trick Point Never.
Shabazz Palaces is going to be there. Shabazz Palaces, really great experimental hip hop. Check them out if you're into hip hop. Lee Ronaldo is going to be there as well.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
That's
if
better than Thurston Moore.
it really honestly is, and I wonder what he's going to be doing. I've never listened to Lee Ronaldo's like solo records.
It's
So
From what I've only heard like songs. It's more tame, you know. It's not like wild out there, but it's still nice stuff, you know.
yeah, and Twin Peaks is going to be there. They're pretty all right. And that's basically all I'm going to be checking out. I'm going to try and see just like random acts as well that I've never heard of. Like this band called the Murlocs seems interesting. But I'm really excited for this. And if you're going to it, let me know. We could see Animal Collective together or something. I'm going to try. I'm getting together a big group of friends. It's going to be really fun. And I'm excited. And besides that, and this is interesting actually, RJ, you sent me a message about getting your Animal Collective tickets,
Yes, I actually did get those.
and
I
that was
yeah.
like the day of my my mother asking me if I wanted anything for Christmas, like concert tickets, and I was gonna have her get me tickets today for Night Festival, which is coming up really soon, and it's like got Dan Deacon and Death Grips playing there again, and so I was like about to get those, and then I saw your message for Animal Collective, and then it like snapped me out of it. So that was good timing. Besides that, really making the end of the year list. Did a bit of a little re-listening to some shit just to make sure that my picks were cemented. And coming up soon, I'm gonna be marathoning all of the Star Wars movies with some friends in anticipation for Force Awakens. And that's basically about it. I saw Empire in a theater. That was cool. And
Oh man.
yeah, that's about it for me. Yeah, and besides that, we listened to some records recently.
True that.
We listened to some records, and two of them, to be specific. And they're a bit. One of them's like pretty, like from a month ago, and another one's a little bit more recent. So we're gonna go with the more recent one first. What did you guys think of Grimes's Art Angels?
I will take the point on this one.
All right, take it away.
So her last album, what was it? I always mess up the album name with one of the
Visions.
songs in it. Is it
Visions.
Visions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always want to say Genesis or Oblivion for some reason. Visions is kind of cool in a weird way, where it's like really sort of skeletal. It's kind of like Future Islands, but takes shit out of it and make it sound more like Incan or something. Like if you ever played like Shadow of the Colossus or Eco, there's like a weird Incan flavor to the soundtracks. It kind of reminded me a lot of that. Yeah. So Visions kind of reminded me of that, and it was kind of cool. Kind of cool. I didn't love it, but I did think it was a cool album. interested to see where Art Angels would go, and Art Angels, because there's a lot of like big tent sites are doing their game of the year, the album of the year stuff, and Grimes is like raking it in. And although I wouldn't
Yeah.
put Grimes in my top 10, I can see exactly why, because I didn't know what to expect, but the scale of Art Angels is way bigger than I was anticipating in terms of
Yeah.
the amount of like elements per song
Mhm.
in like just what she reaches for. It's really impressive. I think it's a really impressive record. Um, there's like a lot of like bubblegum pop, like stuff that reminds me of the early 2000s, like not like 60s bubblegum pop, but like straight up like something you would
Uh,
expect from Britney Spears. Like
yeah.
I think,
Yeah, she has that voice
yeah, like she
too.
has a lot of like sort of chanting, like schoolyard chanting, like vocals that go on on some of the songs. But it kind of sounds like it's kind of like how Weezer. I for some reason I kept thinking of Weezer on this album. Like Weezer is like listening to it's like grunge by nerds. Like it's nothing like grunge,
Yeah.
but it's like someone who really liked like Nirvana or even like 80s like hard rock and decide to make their own thing, but it's kind of nerdy and it's kind of like lovable for that. That's what I thought about Grimes, and I felt it made it more interesting in like than like some of the influences she had. Like um it felt like she was having fun and like her own dance party, but it also felt like kind of dorky, and I find that endearing. I'm not
Mhm.
sure why, but like I'm not sure if you guys felt the same, but like I found she was having fun in a way I don't think other records are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Um,
feel that.
yeah, there's one song in particular. Is it let me look it up. Like, I always mess up the name, but the premise is so nuts, and what
Is
it
it
actually
Filthy
is.
Mane?
Yeah, so you know the premise behind that song, right?
Yeah.
What the
It's like,
fuck?
yeah.
It's like
It's
it's Robert De
Al,
Niro.
Al
No, Al
Pacino,
Al
Pacino. Al
Pacino.
Pacino from Godfather,
Godfather 2.
who
too.
who is instead a spacefaring vampire who is omnisexual and can flip his actual sexuality, all these things at will, and also apparently is on a power trip of some kind. And I'm like, who the what? Who like what the hell? But that song, I remember I read one review like one of the lines from a review that's like, oh man, yeah, you shake your ass to this album. I'm like, ugh, that sounds so lame and cringy. But the rest of the album, I'm like, you know what? Damn, they're kind of right because that
Yeah.
song is awesome. Like Kill Me Maybe is a great fucking song. It's my favorite song of
Yeah.
the
That's my
year.
favorite song on the album,
It's
definitely.
so good.
Yeah.
Like
The
everything about it's good. Like the lyrics are just weird and interesting. Like some of her vocals, like she's like yelling and stuff, which is just kind of funny.
See, that
And
was the only
I
thing I
love
didn't like
vocals.
about the song. I
Like
thought
a
the screamed
thing.
vocals like came off like every time I hear it for some reason, it just instinctively makes me like kind of like cringe a bit. It makes me like and that's weird. It's clearly just a personal thing, but I don't care for
no,
her yelling at all.
I can see why. Sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes I don't. It depends on like I don't know. It just kind of depends. But I think in
Right.
general, it doesn't off put me from the song. Matt, you I think you're probably pretty on this album too. And you were saying something, but I didn't quite hear it.
Oh, I just um I've been really into Grimes for a long time because she was like one of the only she used to come to my hometown in Wyoming and do shows, and so that was really exciting for us because like no one ever did that. So that's how I got into Grimes, was seeing her, come. Um and so I've been really into her, and I love like her weird cutesy voice. It's like if Lana Del Rey was like good and not creepy, like creepy in
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
instrumentalization way, you know what I mean?
Lana
Like
Del Rey is so
like
awesome.
Grimes
Like
was saying
putting.
about like daddy and like that kind of bullshit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they
I love
did like a few songs on here about like Montreal and stuff like that. Janelle Monae is on one song. That
Oh
sounds
yeah.
very
God,
MIA.
yes,
Sounds very MIA.
that
Although
song is so fucking good. But
it's good, it's really
Yeah.
good, but it's not Kala at some point. Which you know
Mhm.
what,
No.
nothing really is. So that's totally fine. I really like the last song on the album because it's not even the best
Yeah.
song. I think it's good,
Yeah,
but
it's a really good song.
it acknowledges something about the album that someone would be like, oh, Manic Pixie Dream Girl, whatever the fuck they might say. Like
Yeah.
that's when I came full circle on the album, I really started to appreciate it. Like this is an album for her. It's not really an album for anyone else. And she even said like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'll never be your dream girl" and stuff like that. I'm living in my own world and stuff like that. It puts in perspective. Like I really appreciate when artists do that, whether they have like a line or two or a song that can literally reframe an entire album because they have placed it in such a way in the order of how is this is like it's really careful design work to how you
Yeah.
can make a cohesive piece of work. And I think for as much as this is like a like an indie-tronic album, it has a lot of heart. I think overall, I
For
think
sure.
like Flesh Without Blood is a really good song. It kind of reminds me of like some of the stuff that what's her name? Oh God, what's her name? She did that one album, uh, Marina and the Diamond. That really said something that I
Oh,
forgot her name. Like kind of reminds me of like a Bubblegum Bitch, but the song is way better. Like this song is just
Yeah.
better in almost every conceivable way. I think Reality is an okay song.
Really
Um,
into California. Like
yeah,
that song.
California is a really good
Poppy
song.
and just fun.
Yeah, it's a weird song, California. Like
yeah.
you
Yeah,
can like
exactly.
it's hard to like you can see where like something like in terms of like what's the word like trying to illustrate something in your mind based on the tones like the sort of landmark or not landmark like the sound she's using I can see myself because I've been to California a few times like the main backing guitar I'm like oh yeah that does kind of really remind me of like driving down Ventura or something for whatever reason it does and then the rest of the song sounds nothing like it and I'm not sure the song has anything to do with California in such a way that you would expect it to be. It's not a ballad for California.
Yeah.
Like like is it easily? Not easily. I can't remember which song it's a ballad for Montreal in a way, but I just think like maybe I would reconsider putting my top 10, but like I have that locked.
Yeah,
I do
same.
think it's just
Same.
a really good. No, a really great. Now I think about it, because actually I think I gave it. I reviewed it on 90 Meg, and I thought it was really great. I think it's a really strong like follow up to Visions in a completely different way, and I think this is probably going to be her breakout record
Oh,
if I
Yeah.
were to
Yeah.
put money on
easily,
it.
easily.
It's yeah, like the song easily. That's a song here. It's
Oh
real
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
I don't really like the album art.
I hate the
Like
album art.
I
I don't
don't
like
like
Elf
it.
either.
It's kind of
Yeah.
garbage.
A little
With
weird.
yeah, like and
It's
I
fine.
see like she likes anime clearly, and Visions
Clearly.
This album is anime.
Vision had such a fucking great box art, like an album art. That thing looked awesome.
Oh yeah.
It looked like
Yeah.
you see something on like a fucking like some like undercover yakuza dude in like I don't know fucking Akihabara or some shit. On the back it was like motorcycle jacket. It's like just this fucking like art style on it. Like yeah, man, that guy will probably fuck me up and cut off my arms and send it to my mom. But man, his jacket looks sick. That's what that reminded me of. And it just kind of reminds me of DeviantArt
Yeah.
like, like it which is another thing that the album kind of reminds me of in a way, kind of like a girl that maybe grew up and one of the most popular was really into like anime, like and not even like surface level anime like Dragon Ball Z, but like watching subs like before they came out. Sometimes being so good at reading subs and learning like different like dialects in Japanese that she didn't even watch without the subs. So like I don't know, the fucking Thursday it came out that night, she was already watching that shit. She wasn't even waiting for a translation. That's what it kind of comes off of the album, and it seems like I'm not in high school anymore, and no one's making fun of me, and I can just be myself. And I kind of love that. Like that's
Oh,
this feels like an
yeah.
album of someone coming into their own,
Yeah.
and I think that's really nice.
I think
It's
that this
really
album definitely for a lot of people like kind of speaks to them, you know?
yeah
Like they can definitely relate to it. And I'm really glad that we're finally seeing some music from people who we clearly like we recognize this type of person, you know? Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like this is a very it's very interesting. Not often do you have a very human pop album. And this
yeah
is
for sure.
a
Oh man,
very
I couldn't agree.
human pop album,
Like
even
I
in the
feel like
production, honestly.
I don't want to take away from Grimes because I think it's a really good album. But one thing I love about 2015 is there's a lot of archetype breaking. Like Vince Staples, I'm gonna bring Vince Staples up because I think there's actually a relation here. Like everyone's like, oh, this is the hood dude. You know, this guy is basically the new Ice Cube. We actually fucking listened to like the Summertime, and Summertime, or however you feel about it, like the character behind him. This is a person that isn't about like they're not really about like, oh, I'm just a fucking gangster. Oh, I am. Like this isn't like a West Side Connection album or anything like that. This is a kid who fully recognizes that he's in a fucked up place. He comes from a weird generation, a generation where you fucking played Donkey Kong 64, but you also may have fucking been trapping like later that goddamn day. And like really, it's not about being a gangster. It's about he is himself.
Yeah.
Kind of called Grimes is herself on his
For
album.
sure.
And I really love that. Oh man, I love the new wave of artists that are doing that shit because like, oh, get this fucking old guard out of here. Like they have their
Yeah.
place, but I just like that music. If you look at the broadscape, even Earl Sweatshirt is doing a similar thing. Where man,
Yeah,
listen to Earl.
story,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Maddie.
the story being told by people this
Yeah,
year through
yeah,
their records
yes.
is just impeccable.
I
And they
really
don't
do.
necessarily have to be like concept albums like Titus Andronicus or something, you know, they have to, but they just all have, they seem so like personal but relatable.
There's a soul.
Like,
Like there's a ghost in the machine. Like there's a yeah, there's a soul in the record that you know like a grime song when you hear it. Like this, especially this album, something like that.
a lot of
I
heart.
yes, it is. There are a few hearts on that album cover, and I'm looking at it. Jesus Christ! Come on, come on, Claire. God damn it!
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad on Mark. Was anybody else getting like a Crystal Castles vibe on this?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Like yeah,
Like
I've
even
always
like
gotten
not
them.
just the yelling, obviously, but like a lot of like the synths, like
the
on Kill the
synths.
Maim,
Yeah,
that
like
doot 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 doot. The it reminded me of Crystal Castles a lot,
kind
and
of like some stuff reminded me of like a tuned down like if someone was gonna give you like a witch house cocktail
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
fucking put in some pop in there to like leaven it. That's what kind of reminded like stuff like reality kind of reminded me of like two like Castles 2
yeah, yeah.
and like Belly of the Beat and things like that. Yeah, no, I definitely did pick up some Crystal Castles as well.
Like two of the biggest things I picked up on this record were Crystal Castles and like K-pop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought-
very much. Yeah, yeah, I actually agree with that. Actually, yeah, K-pop. Yeah, I would say.
Uh,
Um, anyone else got anything to say? RJ?
yeah, sure, I'll pick it up. All right. Here's another case of I've never listened to Grimes before, and I was initially not very interested in listening to this album
I feel you there.
until people started talking about it, and I was like, okay, I've got some vague interest in it. And then we put it up for a review, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening to it. And I like it. I really like this album a lot more than I expected to.
I see. Go on.
I think it's really great. K-pop was like one of the first things I thought about this album. Like, especially mostly with Kill V Maim because it's mostly because like the spelled letters, vocals, and stuff like that, and the very upbeat um stuff, and it's just like hold on. Well, let me go and gather my thoughts real quick. I'm losing myself. It's just like, oh my god. Okay, all right. I don't know. I'm just losing myself here. Anyways, it's just a really great album. Like, it's filled with a lot of great songs. California, I think, Laughing and Not Being Normal is really great, regardless of just being like some little short opener, you know. Uh, Scream was kind of weird and kind of like didn't feel like it really needed to be there. Like I didn't listen. Like I don't know, because like it was just like rapping in like another language, which
Yeah,
was, it sounded fine, but it just kind of just sat there and didn't really do much without. And then just kind of Flesh Without Blood came after, so it just like kind of like outshined it. It's stuck between two great tracks, and that's like but that's the thing is that this album doesn't have very many bad tracks. Like I don't think it really has any bad tracks. I think there's only 2 or 3 tracks that aren't really that great in my opinion. Those are Reality, Venus Fly, and Scream.
Oh, you didn't like Venus Flytrap?
I thought it was fine, but it was just like it's one of the songs I thought wasn't very interesting, along with Reality.
I can see that. It's
Um,
very samey.
but I really like how the synths are on this album. I like the production. I really like her vocals and like the screaming stuff on Kill V Main. Initially, yeah, I kind of got like the weird, cringy type thing,
Cringy. Yeah.
like Grimes. Like I wouldn't expect Grimes to be doing this, but like with because the song is so great and one of the best songs of the year, it's okay. It's fine. It works with it.
I definitely
Um,
think the BEHAVE aggressive makes up for it
I love that part.
yeah,
wholeheartedly.
yeah, that's the best part of the song.
Yeah.
Um, Everything else though, like this. Okay, that's like the big highlight of the album, obviously, and like I like that this album has multiple like big highlights. Like Flesh Without Blood and Kill
Yeah.
Be Maim, and
Mm.
easily to
Yeah,
an
easily is
extent.
a. Although
Like
I
I,
will
re-
say, I don't want to interrupt you there, but like I don't really like easily like the cutest damn thing you've ever seen. I'm like, this is kind of too cringy for me. That, but I still do like the song. But that part, I'm like, okay. It's what I've patented as the Sloop John B moment, where
uh,
in my opinion, Pet Sounds Perfect Down, Sloop John B is not a good song, but it's not enough to ruin it. I won't skip it. I'll just bear it.
yeah, I see what you mean, and I
So
guess
I
I
don't really
kind of
like
feel
that.
that
See,
way with Reality and Venus Fly, where I wouldn't skip them, but I don't really like them that much.
the first half of this album is like skippable content for me, honestly. Like I don't
Interesting.
intro through Flesh Without Blood. I really don't care for. I'd rather just get to the good bits. I think the good bits easily make up for that. But the first time I sat through this album and a couple of subsequent listens, the first half I just can't. I don't really like it that much.
I actually like the first half much better than the second half, really.
That's interesting.
I think
Um,
it generally rides a pretty high point for for me personally.
Grimes, I'm driving right now. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Moving podcasts.
moving
You
Go
very
gotta
on.
hearing these are moving
from
parts. Scream is a really interesting song. You ever read the lyrics for Scream?
I have not.
I
That
have.
it's about a serial killer.
Yeah. The
Hmm.
It's
lyrics on this
fucked.
record are probably like one of the highlights, honestly, for me. It's
Yeah.
not often that you get pop music with weirdo lyrics,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
oh boy, these are some weirdo lyrics.
Like Scream is about. It's first of all, Scream features Aristophanes, who is a Taiwanese rapper, Taiwanese female MC.
Yeah.
And if you read the lyrics, man, that shit is graphic. Holy shit!
Yeah.
And that's like you know how I feel like Dan. You know how you're saying, oh well, you can get better synth pop elsewhere when you listen to the Churches album. I mean, this is better. Ultimately, I think Churches is like Churches. Nope. Grimes
Way
is like I mean I like Churches, but like Grimes is she's pop for the rest of us. It's like and I'm not including myself, but you know the singer is like, oh well, this is pop for the rest of us, so this is what we
mhm,
get. But yeah, it's pop that's strange and imaginative and kind of wily in a weird way that was
yeah.
very much individual. Like not even it does a weird thing where it's very individual. Like it's grimed, but it's completely universal. And, like it's just good
oh,
songwriting, which is extremely hard to nail. Very very hard to nail. Um, like it's weird because I feel the more I'm talking about this album, the more I realize how much I actually really like the album. Yeah, really pretty damn great record. If you are alienated by pop, mainstream pop, and it doesn't speak to you,
yeah.
this is the record for you. Um, I think Grimes has really outdone itself, and honestly, not itself. Like I was thinking about the album. It's like I missed what I was saying. I think I think I'll like this album more as time goes on. Like I remember I liked FKA Twigs album. I liked it. Like I was like a 8 flat to me, and then come this time, like what, like maybe like 2 months ago, or whenever I finished my 100 list, that was like number 47 on my like favorite albums of all time. So you never know sometimes, but I do think it's one of the best records of this year.
Yeah.
RJ, what are your final thoughts on Art Dangerous?
I think it's a great album filled with great tracks, filled with some of the best songs from the year. One of the best pop albums of the year, if not the best.
Yeah, I would agree.
One of the best albums of the year in general, and a really great, I guess, step into Grimes. Like if you like, this is like, I
Yeah.
guess this is like the way into. I get this is probably going to be the new way into Grimes. This is going to be the album to point to,
Yeah.
and
This is
I'm
gonna be MPP. This is Graham's MPP,
yeah,
I think.
this is a Grimes MPP. I'm thinking an 8 out of 10.
All right. Like I said, I think I've said everything I've needed to say already about this record. Don't really care for the beginning too much, but the second half of the album really picks up, especially after Kill V Mame. I think Kill V Mame is one of the best pop singles put up this year, maybe the best pop single. It's like a tie between that and Annie from Neon Indian for me.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a hot track.
Yeah, it really is. But
Although I will say Glitzy Hive's a better song than Annie. So that's
I
not
feel
good.
you. I was just kind of thinking singles.
Yeah, no, I was like, but that's not singing. I was looking to sing.
Okay. But yeah, and now Annie's stuck in my head. Wonderful. But yeah, this is everything that you guys said was pretty on point. This is a fantastic pop album for people who for just plain and simple is a
Yeah,
fantastic
in
pop
general,
album.
yeah.
yeah.
But like
If
specifically, if you feel like, well, I like these pop songs, but like there's a layer of distance between me and the song. I
see
think.
Yeah.
you guys say like MPP, but to me this is like Grimes's Pinkerton. You know, like
Really?
oh yeah.
I
I
don't think so. I mean, no, I mean that's totally fine. That's a valid opinion.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
I just
I don't
think
know about that.
so because like with Pinkerton that was like grunge rock for like really nerdy people and it really spoke to them, you know.
But here's my
And
thing about Pinkerton. I don't interrupt people. Like Pinkerton, yeah. I mean, 'cause I think Pinkerton does half the formula right, and like it's album for the rest of us, but also Grimes does that, but also at the same time, it's an album for everyone else at the very same time.
Yeah.
okay,
Like,
all
So
right.
if anything, it's kind of more
it's
like Blue.
So yeah, Blue
yeah, it's like
album
Blue
then.
Album. Yeah,
Then Blue
that's what I
album.
was
Yeah,
saying. It's like
yeah,
Blue Album
yeah.
before.
All right. Yeah, I can agree
Yeah.
with that. I'll change it. It's more like Blue album, definitely.
Although Pinkerton, that's I'm not talking about a fucking record. That's a
Pinkerton's a
fucking
great
record.
record.
God damn it.
Mhm.
Um, did that end up? I assume that ended up on your top 100. Where
I think
was
I was
it?
like, I have to go look at it. Give me a second.
All right.
We have time.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give this record a 7 out of 10.
Oh, interesting.
I do recommend it. I do recommend it. I did enjoy it, but the first half is not my cup of tea.
That sounds like a flexible seven.
Yeah, it is a pretty flexible. I was
Yeah.
thinking about 8 earlier, but I think 7 is more just period. Because
When it mm,
yeah,
when it comes down to like a number, the heart always knows.
that's
Yeah.
true. The
Like, it
heart
always
always
knows.
knows.
If you want to go like, oh, I give it like a nine. Like I kind of want to give that one a nine. I'm like, no, I won't because the heart said I shouldn't.
I'll give it a 7.5. That's
All right.
that's more fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Art
Now
Angels
I'm kind of
definitely.
interested. I know what I'm talking about. Now I'm kind of invested in finding out where this thing is.
All right.
Well, here, well, go
Well,
on.
while you're looking, we'll go ahead and say we also listened to another record recently,
Mhm.
one that I was shoving down everybody's throat,
This
just
is your in
mercilessly.
color.
Yes, this is my in color, like to the T actually. Uh, we reviewed Garden of Delete by One O Tricks Point Never or
That's
Ono
title.
Tricks Point Never, however you might want to say the handle of Daniel Lopatin. Daniel Lopatin, for those of you who don't know, experimental electronic artist. Most of his shit is plunderphonics, so it's all sample based, with a couple of MIDI shit. It's good. I enjoy it. I think I'll take the reins if nobody else
I
wants.
think you
One
should
thing
take
before
the
you
reins.
start.
All right.
Pinkerton was 23,
Okay.
so it's fairly high.
Yeah. I think yeah I can agree with that. I think Pinkerton would probably be in the 20s on my list as well if I ever made one.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Garden of Delete was I remember the lead up to this album and it was pretty hype. Not gonna lie, especially after R+7, which was 2013 maybe. I'll have to check right now. I don't want to be spouting misinformation. R+7 was 2013. Yeah.
2013.
So that record, I remember when that album came out, a lot of people were praising it to be like one of the best electronic albums ever made.
Mhm.
People were putting R+7 up there with like selected ambient works by Aphex Twin and shit like that. And so that's kind of what turned me on to One Tricks. And I didn't know this either, but Daniel Lopatin, he also did another project called Chuck Person's Echo Jams, which a lot of people consider to be the best. And this is gonna sound interesting, but a lot of people consider that release to be the best vaporwave album ever made.
Okay.
Um, it's really, really good. It shows exactly what that genre can be when you're not sifting through the Macintosh pluses and the
The,
Oscobs
the
and
mini
etc. Yeah,
Bandcamp pages.
yeah, exactly. Um, a lot of people consider Daniel Lopatin to be like the creator of vaporwave as well because Replica is like one of the first records that ever tried that shit out. But
Mm-hmm.
Garden of Delete for me definitely lived up to the hype that it was getting on various music-based image boards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it it's a
Various.
record that I have a lot to say about, and I don't really know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I'll just start from the beginning. I hate this album's intro with a passion. I don't think it
What was
gets.
the again?
It's just intro, and it's this
I,
loud like it sounds like a growl. It sounds like a monster.
okay, right,
And
right,
it's just
right.
like 15 seconds of that, and then it goes into Ezra. I feel
Mm.
like this album should have just started on Ezra. That
Yeah, I
intro
would agree.
is completely skippable. It doesn't even really get like it doesn't set atmosphere for the album for me. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't set a tone for the album for me. It does nothing.
It's like it's
And
there.
yeah, it's just there. And it's like I would rather have nothing than just something that just feels like filler to me. And you should never
Yeah.
start off your album with filler. And it just I don't know, it just doesn't do anything for me. But after that 28 seconds of nothing, you get put on this it feels like you're like it's late at night and uh you go to drink some of your water and someone might have spiked your water with some very intense things, and you're about to go on a horrifying adventure, and it really captures that atmosphere pretty well. This atmosphere of just getting like strapped to a gurney and ran through like an insane asylum. Like
Mm-hmm.
I one of the things that like influenced this record from what I had read from a couple of interviews was he was basing it off whenever he was like younger he was really into metal music,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's this big like there's a couple of sampled guitars on here, there's a couple like breakdowns almost. It's like electronic music made with a metal mentality,
That's
and I
very
think
interesting.
it's very very interesting. Definitely a couple of highlights off this thing for me is Sticky
Mm.
Drama.
Oh
um
yeah, that's the best
Ezra is
album.
amazing, and the closer to this album is my favorite. It
Mm-hmm.
no good. That little melody that it ends on, the da, 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 that part is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I really love the closer on this record. And just the general atmosphere of the album in and of itself. It's a really, really freaky record, but it's also
Yeah.
really catchy at the same time. I don't think it's as good as R+7, but for a while this was like album of the year contender for me.
Interesting.
I really enjoyed Garden of Delight.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, RJ, do you have any thoughts?
I do. I have some interesting thoughts.
All right.
Okay. I've listened to Replica before, and I have a similar experience that I had with Replica that I have with this album, except I like Replica a little bit better. But anyways, the thing about Mr. OPN is that I really want to get into his stuff and I want to like it and I like the concepts and I like the general sound that he goes for. But whenever I listen to it, it just doesn't grab me. There are songs that I like, but just as a whole album, it's just like I'm not really into it. Like I really like songs. I really like Ezra. I really like Sticky Drama, and I really like Animals. But that's as far as this album goes for me. Like I just like this album. I'm just a little bored by it. I'm just not really into it. Like I want to like it. I want to like his stuff. I've listened to a little bit of R+7, and I like that I've liked that the most, but I haven't really given it enough listens to really talk about it. But I've given this album a few listens. It's just I've liked the songs like it. I really like Sticky Drama. Sticky Drama is really great. I really like the sounds on that song. And if this album sounded like that, that'd be cool. But I don't know, just like I listened to it and just it doesn't really stick with me. I think it's interesting, but I don't really like it all that much.
I see where
That's
you're coming from. It's like a
Let's see.
I've listened to this once and I don't really want to re-listen to it again, sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I get that. And I was kind of like that at first with OPN as well. What really honestly changed my mind about him was No Good. Like the closer on
Mhm.
this album was so good for me that it it was like everything paid off because I'm a really big fan of like anthemic things,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that the closer to this record is basically just an anthem. Like it really punches you in the face with a final, you know, it feels like a closer, and I
Yeah.
loved it. And so that's what kind of made me go, okay, I'm gonna listen to this again and again. And then like when it clicked for me, it it really fucking clicked. Like there's something about this record and how schizophrenic it is that just I've gotten into like a lot of the sounds on this album are just interesting to me. Like how
Yeah.
he'll sample like just acoustic guitars that are like tapping while there's just like this
Mhm.
synth underneath it. Like the fusion really I think works out in its benefit, you know? But
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say is I really like the fusion of elements of different like musics on this album, and it doesn't come together and feel like a genre blender. It comes together and it feels like a cohesive like thing for me.
I
Uh,
see.
yeah, but I get where you're coming from,
Yeah.
RJ.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. It can be a tough listen.
Mhm.
Is that the right word?
It's not. I don't think it's just tough. It's just one of those things where it's like there's a wall here, and it's like, and it's a wall that like I can't really just climb right now. It's just I'm not. It's just not. Or like I don't have the ability to right now. It's just I don't. I just it just doesn't reach me. You know.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's bad. It's not a bad listen. It just I just don't really like it that much. That's just pretty much what it is.
Okay. Uh,
Dude,
Chewy, do you have any thoughts on Garden of Delight?
I like the title
Uh,
though. I say that.
so do I. Surprisingly, I kind of agree with RJ. And it's not like one time. I think maybe 4 or 5 times. I tried to
Yeah.
come out from different angles,
Yeah.
and like I don't know what it is. Like I like how like how thinking has he's blended the sounds together in a really interesting way. Like almost like very staccato. Like it's really interesting how things just bounce off of each other,
Yeah.
and then create like almost a medley of like non-musical things smashed into some spare musical elements, and it's really cool. But I don't know. There's a blockage there. There's something I agree with RJ, like this idea of an obstacle, and I can't quite figure out what it is because I've listened to like harder albums than this, like albums because this is not a friendly album,
Yeah.
really. Let's be honest. But it's not. It made any worse for that. In fact, that makes it more alluring. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I just keep trying to revisit it. Going, all right, what if I listen to this song now, or punch over this way? Well, let's start backwards to the front or front to the back. But something about it, something is unattainable in a way that I can't quite put my finger on. That's preventing me from enjoying the album. Like I like Ezra and Sticky Drama too, and I like Eagle Jam as well. I think Eagle
Yeah.
Jam is a really good song. And like my thing is like I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Then I turn it off and then I don't think about it. I just don't think
Yeah.
about the album and I just leave it alone. And I don't know why that is. Like I really don't. It's one of the times where like one of the few times where I'm thinking about an album like I don't an album that I've listened to like extensively and I don't know why I can't enjoy it. But then again, at the same time, that's just how life is. Sometimes there are things
Yeah.
that you're just not predisposed to. The only thing that makes it more difficult is when you're predisposed to listen to a lot of electronic music, especially not listen to like big tent like Garrigs or like Geta like
Yeah.
drop heavy instruments like electronics. I don't want to sound like a hipster, but I hate that shit.
Yeah,
But
sure.
like everyone is free to enjoy exactly what the fuck they want, and honestly, I can go fuck myself if that's how you feel about that,
Yeah.
which is very true. And right on if you're gonna do that because I am pretty terrible. But like I don't that stuff doesn't speak to me in any way, shape, or form. So stuff
Yeah.
like One of Tricks Point Never or Grimes or like Jamie XX or like what's that one producer that goes for a Ghost Space, like stuff that's off the beaten path slightly. That's more intricate, like intricate pieces that aren't meant to be blended together as
Hmm.
this one like monolithic like oh wait for the drop or some shit like that. And so I think that's the problem. Like I want to like it, and I feel like I should like it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Unrelated, kind of like The Witcher 3, or I'm like, I like this game. I like this game. Why do I have to tell myself I like this game? I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's weirdly frustrating. I'm gonna keep trying to listen to Garden of Deleted, and I've tried
Definitely
a
give
few
like
times.
No
Yeah,
Good another listen because like to
I
me
was
like
thinking.
that was like the like that's probably one of my favorite tracks this year. Period. Like just and again, like I said, I like anthemic things, so it might just be that. It might just be tickling that. But like I feel like this album is like oddly like when I listen to this record, to me, it's like listening to I guess it's it's almost Pink Floydian. Like
interesting.
it's psychedelic in a
I
way.
could see that.
It reminds me a lot of like Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah,
It
that's what I was thinking when you made that comparison.
it
But
has like a very similar atmosphere to it.
yeah, the atmosphere is similar.
And that's really what like this is not an album that you can just put a song on and like it's definitely an album that has to be listened to from front to back with the
Yeah.
exception of intro. Fucking hate intro. But like and there are a couple of jammers. Like Ezra's a jammer. Echo Jam C1. It's a shame that song is only 32 seconds because like the rhythm on that song is incredible. The dun 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 like it like I said, it just I can definitely understand where you guys are coming from without a
Yeah.
doubt. Uh and that if you it might just be like another thing like you just like you listen to it, you listen to it, you listen to it, it's not going to click.
Yeah.
I get that. I've had like that with a couple of records this year especially. Um but definitely the one thing that really just attracts me to this album in general is just the overall tone and the atmosphere. It's an album that I can put on like it reminds me it's very this is kind of lame sounding, but it's very cyberpunk, and
Mm.
so I can like dig that like that feel a lot
Yeah,
because
it kind of is.
it's like
It kind of
Shadowrun.
it's like Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, like
Like yeah, I can see that actually. Oh, Cyberpunk too.
but I guess we'll move into final thoughts for Garden
Mm-hmm.
of Delete. I think this album is a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Really, definitely one of my favorites of the year. Maddie sent us her scores before she had to leave. Maddie's giving it a 9 out of 10. I don't know why, and I would have been really interested to have
Yeah, I
heard Maddie's
was.
side on that because
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
want to
expecting a
know.
9 from Maddie.
Yeah, I was not expecting that either.
We've cut the content. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
How's these missions you can do again?
but you're gonna have to buy the Maddie DLC in order
Yeah.
to hear Maddie's side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get the Pretentious Taste season pass. It comes with a lifetime subscription to Dunkin' Donuts Live, which is
Oh
a
God,
wonderful
not
magazine.
again.
that's the way home right there. Holy shit! From the depths.
RJ, what are you feeling
Uh,
on this album?
oh, I thought it was interesting, but it just doesn't grab me. I'm still probably gonna check out his later stuff to see if there's something else that he does that makes me more interested or more actually, liking it more. I'm taking a 6.
All right, it's a
I
little bit
am
higher than
right
I
there with
expected. Yeah,
RJ.
really,
I
both
would
of you
give it
give
a
it a
six as
6.
well.
I
So
was
it's
ex-
not bad.
I was
It's
kind of
not a
expecting
Yeah,
bad
it's
like a
not
thing.
bad.
5,
No,
but
it's not bad. It's
Yeah, a
just
five isn't bad either, but like it's not average. That's the thing to me. It's not an average album. Like 5 is average to me.
There's more of like a level of interest to the album.
Yeah,
It's
it's
definitely a
It,
compelling listen.
yeah.
yes. In one word for sure.
Yeah. Um, those were the reviews. We're gonna move into a short little news bit, and then after that, I think we'll be finished up.
Hmm.
But this one might take a bit, guys. There was a new Animal Collective song that came out,
Yes, there
and
was.
who wants to take this away? Who wants to talk about this first?
Uh, I don't know. I'm trying to recall pieces of the parts that I really liked of the song. Because I
Well,
remember
start
the
this.
general.
Yeah. RJ,
The
do you have
general.
thoughts about Floridada?
Well, okay. When I first heard the news that there was a new Animal Collective song, I initially was like, "Oh, great, a new Animal Collective song." But part of me was like, "Oh, I didn't really like Centipede Hurts that much, so
Same.
I don't know if this next thing is gonna be like more of that or like just some weird direction that's not gonna be what I'm into the most." But fortunately, Floridada has proved me extremely wrong and has played to my sensibilities and has said, well, it hasn't said anything to me, but I just love this song. And I think it's really great. And I really just, this, basically, this song is just a prelude to what I want this album to be. It's what I
Yes,
wanted next from Animal Collective.
it is.
Like, I,
It
I
might
love
well be
MPP.
MPP two.
I
I don't
don't
Yeah.
think so.
think it'll be
Like,
MPP two. This
I don't.
song
No, I
is
mean
no
like.
My Girls. I mean,
But like, my thing about it is it's not like it's not MPP two insofar as like it's directly following it up, but the same sensibilities and strong like
Yeah.
pop like the funness is back
Yeah.
that
of
poptimism,
MPP's like
as
yeah
people call
of
it.
the pop leans, and I think cause I just recently like not recently like, I just for a second queued the song up just now just to
Yeah.
remember exactly what I liked about it, and I only heard like 4 seconds of it just now. I'm like, all right, now I remember everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't mean to take it from RJ, but like yeah,
No, it's
like
okay. This
I
is
was I'm just I don't know how to feel about Animal Collective because there are things I really like from them that I actually really like feel, even though I probably should. I really like Panda Bear's stuff, although I'm kind of split on his latest album, Grim Reaper.
yeah.
I like a lot of parts of it. A lot of parts were amazing, or some parts were amazing. Some parts of it are boring or just not done well. But like stuff like Person Pitch is a fucking fantastic album, and I just realized that didn't make my top 90. It'd probably be like 93 if it was like I love that album, and obviously MPP was pretty high on my list.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm like, if they make an album that is something more in line with like yeah the last album, like okay that's fine. I mean it's just not for me. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I was surprised when I'm like, this thing jams. This is this is my girl. This is like it's not insofar as it's not the same damn thing. It's not
For me, it was more Peace Bony.
really.
I
Yeah,
could see
like
that.
it
Yeah.
reminded
It's
me a lot
definitely
of Peace Bony.
feelsy.
It's like really honestly, it reminds me a lot of like a combination of Merryweather and Strawberry Jam. And
Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, I can see that.
Centipede Hurts was kind of that, but it was more leaning on the Strawberry side,
Yeah,
and
Definitely way
this is
have
more leaning on the Merryweather side.
yeah. Like it reminds me of like summertime clothes, but wait, like summertime clothes 3x speed.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Um, one thing I really dug on this track was just like the whole tropical vibe. I thought
Oh
was
yeah.
Yeah. No. It's
incredible.
the I think it touches one of my favorite songs ever, and I just like to scream it, but I won't scream it this time. It touches a bit of that Sports Brother vibe. The Sports Brother
Yes.
definitely had like
Sports
Like
brother.
Afro Brazilian rhythms
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
for
definitely.
sure, and this album has that. No, this song had that, and it's faster.
Well, have you
But
heard
Yeah.
them? Have you heard them on their new live album? Their version of Brother Sport that they do on that.
really,
It is straight up like like it reminds me a lot of like African like tribal music. It
Hmm.
is fucking straight up like that. And so I feel like and a lot of the renditions that they do on that live album actually are very tribal, and which has always been like a big influence to Anko.
Yeah.
Um, but I really feel like this next album is gonna really grasp that. You can never
Yeah.
really guess with Anko, but I
True.
feel like they're going for that vibe, and I am very
My thing
excited
is,
for that.
I don't think it's tribal though. It's like Afro Latin is what it
Yeah.
sounds like. It sounds like a mix of those two things.
I guess I just meant for more for the percussion.
Yeah, but even yeah, okay, I can see that actually.
Yeah, because Panda Bear's always been inspired by that type of shit. But
Yeah.
to me, this is like the perfect blend of AV's songwriting and Panda's songwriting.
Yeah. Which is
AV's being like really weird and out there, and then Panda's being more of a pop mentality. I think it
yeah.
really just fuses both of those pretty damn well. You have the really first of all, this song is layered as fuck. It's dense as
Yeah.
hell. There's a
So
lot of
insane.
synths, actually, just a ridiculous amount of synths, and they're all doing their own things, and
A lot of
it's
voices.
a lot
The
of
voices
voices.
are like
The,
deflect. I
ooh,
remember in the chat we were talking like, who's singing where?
yeah,
I
Yeah.
can't I can't
They're
figure it
bouncing
out.
just there's bouncing off the walls essentially.
Yeah, the song like the lyrics the vocals are coming together like layered in a quick second and shooting off in the opposite direction with
it's
magnets.
it's got that
It's
wonderful Beach Boys vibe to it in the bridge.
Yes.
yeah,
That where's that bridge that's gonna take me home? That is like
Uh,
my favorite part of the song. It's amazing. Uh,
One thing that is going to be interesting about this album is that, like, I think they said that this is the first album where they're writing lyrics and melodies and stuff, like, for each other rather than whoever gets to write it sings it. So I think that's going to be, like, make for
that's
some
that could
different
be
stuff.
huge
Yeah.
in a way because that's a hard process. I can't even fathom that process. But someone, you know what, guys? I'm not even gonna talk about writing music. I don't do that anymore. But like, I hate bringing that up. But fucking the idea of writing for someone else sounds so hard.
Yeah,
It's
it
hard
really
enough
does.
to write for your goddamn self. But to
Hmm.
write for someone else completely means you have to have studied that person for long enough to the point where they don't even need to tell you what they want, and
Yeah.
well,
you're like, "This is what it is."
Panda Bear and Avi have been making music since they were like 19.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So
still, I mean, even so, it's still impressive. Like that requires a lot of like recollection and realizing really small details
Yeah.
of what someone might want and
definitely.
how the lyrics are going to match up with the actual composition and stuff.
Hmm.
And another thing that makes it hard is that you think about Animal Collective, like they're probably the most complex band I can really think of.
Oh, definitely.
Still doing music that's like not that's like borderline drivel, like not like it's so complex,
Yeah.
but just like a bunch of shit happening. Like this really orchestrated madness on the
Mhm.
an Animal Collective song. So the idea that they're going like, you know what, we're gonna take it one more step further and write for others
I,
in the thing that's
one
you know,
thing that I'm definitely taking into consideration with this next record and just speculating on what it's going to sound like is, Animal Collective always names their album after what they're going after.
Yeah.
Strawberry Jam was named Strawberry Jam because it was supposed to sound plastic but organic at the same time. Merriweather Post Pavilion was literally dedicated to the fucking venue, and it was supposed to
Yeah.
sound like that venue. And Centipede Hurts was supposed to sound like you're traveling through this weird land and listening to its radio stations. So I'm very interested to see what they're gonna go for with painting with, because
Yeah.
obviously you have this first track, which is Floridada, which Dadaism, and then Florida, and it it gets that Dada feel and it gets that Florida feel. So I'm interesting to see how this painting with
Yeah.
aesthetic is gonna like impact the music, how it's gonna sound. Overall, I think we can all easily say that we're very excited for the new Anko.
Very.
Oh man, listen to that bridge again, man, it's so good.
Oh
The
yeah,
vocals, man, so good.
yeah,
It's
it's
great.
fantastic. Um, in other news, news that for some reason, people think I care about this news. Uh, I've
Okay.
gotten that article like sent to me like by 5 different people on Facebook. David Bowie said in a recent interview that he was influenced by Death Grips.
I think that was taken out of context. I
It
think
probably it probably definitely
they were
is.
talking to the producer, or the producer was in the room, and he said he was listening to a lot of Death Grips and like Kendrick Lamar and shit like that.
Okay,
And
see,
so, and
I
people just collapsed it
I haven't
into
heard Black Star because like I,
I
it's
listened to
cool.
it.
I
It's a
don't
cool song.
I don't like David Bowie as a person like at all,
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's one of
he's
those
all
artists
right.
that it's hard for me to like separate the art from the artist for
Mhm.
me because I just really think he's a scumbag. Um, but I mean, yeah, that's cool. That David Bowie's producer listens to Death Grips. I listen to Death Grips. RJ listens to Death Grips. Chewy's listened to Death Grips. A lot of
Great like the
people.
Money Store. It's a damn good record. Can't
It's
be
pretty
beat.
good.
I don't know. I
Oh,
just thought Black Star was okay, really.
I thought it interesting. I thought it sounded like a Radiohead song to me,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
was already.
not Radiohead.
Yeah.
speaking of Radiohead, man, I'm just waiting for them to announce something.
Yeah,
Man,
and
you know what it's like.
they started
It's
recording, like,
just I
or they
can't
finished
fucking
recording, like, earlier this year, right?
I can't deal with this shit anymore, man. I mean, real talk, Danny. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this shit.
Radiohead's
I'm
playing
just
us like a damn fiddle.
goddamn between Radiohead and Frank Ocean. Like,
And
the fuck,
Swish.
man.
Honestly,
Man, I didn't want to talk about Kyrie because I just remembered them like, oh yeah, right, and then another I'm fucking waiting for. Like, please, just something. It's a taste, but a pence. Please, sir. Please.
I'm sure they have a song ready at least.
I'm sure they have the album done.
Yeah,
Like
they have.
conceptually, the album's probably done,
Tom York
and
probably wants to do something weird with it, and that's why it's taking so long.
he wants to sing through a frog's lung, also capture the essence of like Brixton in England or
have,
some shit like this.
have you guys
Oh
seen
fuck
that clickhole article that is new photos of Radiohead in the studio, and in every one of them, Tom York has a gun.
Clickhole is weird.
Yeah.
Like the Onion, I get the Onion is perfect. It's perfectly what it is. But Clickhole is something you just it's like what? Like you
I
really
like
have no
Clickhole
idea. Like
better.
what are they going
Soda for
for?
me, the boy.
Yes, that's the best article that Clickle's ever made. Soda for me, the boy.
And I got some good news and some bad news, everybody. The
Alright.
bad news is Nardwuar suffered a stroke while he was speaking at a college recently. Or I think it might have been a hotel. I'm not sure. Um,
I'm not sure.
the good news is that he's all good now. So yay, we I'm glad for that. I'm glad that he properly recovered.
Yeah.
Um, RJ, I know you watch a bit of Nardwuar. Chewy, do you watch any Nardwuar at all?
No.
Okay. RJ, do you have a favorite Nardwuar interview?
I I do not, but I've watched plenty of his interviews, and I really like his ones with Henry Rollins for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
but I also just like the chemistry that they've had because they've had the multiple interviews. In the first interview, Henry was just like a massive douchebag
Yep.
to Nardwuar,
The soup
and
can.
yeah, the soup can. Like it's so because especially for that era of Henry where it was just like Henry's I'm a real asshole era. Now he's just like gentle old man
Yeah,
now.
he's really
Now
soft spoken now.
he's warmed up to Henry. Not he's warmed up to Nardwuar
Yeah.
and they're a little bit more friendly. So it's funny. And so it's and that's one thing that's interesting with Nardwuar is that uh because he does interview like some people multiple times. It's interesting to see the chemistry that he has with other because he's very unique, definitely, for in
Yeah.
terms of interviewers.
Have you seen
Uh,
the Sonic Youth one from the '80s?
yes, that was
Painful.
tragic.
Yeah.
It was tragic. It was too mean to little Nardwuar.
Yep. He was young too. I think he was like
Yeah,
16.
was he?
Yeah, he was really
Uh,
young in that. I really like his Jello Biafra interviews because he's been interviewing
I've
Jello
never
since the
seen.
'80s.
I don't think I've seen any of the Jello
They're
ones.
fantastic, and Jello's a really weird dude, man.
He is.
But for those of you who've never seen Nardwuar, I recommend checking out any of his Jello Biafra ones.
Mm,
Also, any of his Pharrell Williams or Jay Z ones. They're fantastic.
okay.
His Kid Cudi one's really good. Uh, a lot of hip hop artists really actually kind of get Nardwuar. The Kendrick Lamar one's
Yeah,
pretty funny, but
I've never seen. I didn't know he did one with Kendrick
yeah,
Lamar.
he did one with Kendrick from like right before Good Kid, Mad City came out,
Okay, I see.
and it's very interesting to see how Kendrick has changed as a person since having blown up. Uh, that I really do think that guy has like I hate to speak on like the hate to speak for other people, but I really with the themes on To Pimp a Butterfly, there's definitely some survivor's guilt I feel that he feels. But
Interesting.
yeah, glad Nardwuar is back. That's
Yes.
cool. But before we close off, say our goodbyes to the audience. Does anybody have anything else they might want to talk about?
Not that I can think of.
Not
No.
that I can recall. No.
All right. Do you guys have anything planned for the site?
Uh,
Uh,
I do not.
hopefully that sort of game year knife fight punch 'em all happens. I think we're looking into that, although schedules will be a little hectic.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were definitely on the other podcast. We're definitely thinking about doing a game of the year thing. So
That's,
if either of you are interested in that, feel free to
I
hop
haven't. I
on.
haven't played too many games, but I'd be interesting to hop on and maybe just be in the conversation.
All right. And finally, I guess before we close off, I'll go ahead and say some news. Like I said, there's the albums we missed series that's going on that I'm kind of doing. Just again, albums that have throughout the year that I wish we could have reviewed, but we didn't. So check that out if you're interested in seeing my thoughts on some different albums. Um, also, the next week's episode, everybody will be here, and we're going to be doing the titular knife fight.
Mm-hmm.
The year end list to end all other year end lists. That's right. We're doing the 2014 end of the year list. So if you guys can think of any good albums from 2014, we'll be covering them.
2014.
2014.
Hey,
2014.
2014. Because
2014.
I still haven't done my 2014 end of the year list. I'll get
What?
around to it eventually.
2014.
This is new.
Still haven't listened to Ariel Pink's Pom Pom yet.
I still
One
haven't
day.
listened to either. Yeah, me too.
Eh,
One day.
that was okay.
Until then, happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, everyone.
I think I say Happy Christmas like British people. You know,
Yeah,
people say
I
Happy
was
Christmas.
gonna say Happy
It's
Christmas.
just so fucking weird. Fucking British people are weird, yo. Out
I-
there with their Tesco's, and their Top Shops, and their like fucking weird hats that people stopped wearing in like 1989.
Are you talking about the
The-
tall hats that the guards wear?
No,
Oh.
like random like chavs and shit. Like they have like the strap hat is like really round. It's hard to explain. You'll know when you see it, and like the parking space is too small, and everyone loves like tracksuits and like
The
Are you
Adidas
thinking of
ones.
Are you thinking of Slavs?
what's
No,
slabs?
Slavs
No,
are
I'm
like
thinking of chavs. No, I'm thinking of chavs. Like
No,
Chavs.
because Slavs like the Adidas tracksuits and squatting everywhere.
oh no, no, I mean I'm thinking directly of like dudes in Manchester and shit
Okay.
like that. Just
Okay.
talking about
Slav
topping off
squad.
shit, snogging. I'm just playing England. I'm joking.
Let's
You
do
know, I
one
know you
last
don't
thing
know.
before we close off.
All right.
We briefly talked about it. RJ briefly talked about it. What's the worst album of the year? Let's end on a positive note.
Oh, that on a positive note.
Big bullet to heaven. Obviously, is my
Wait, what did you say?
choice.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Mr. Kid Cudi's effort.
Effort quotations. I'm sure he tried hard.
I mean, I'm sure he did. I mean, it's an effort.
I'm not sure he tried hard at all.
I don't know,
No,
man.
no.
It
Okay,
sounds like he
no.
tried.
It
He
doesn't
tried
sound
hard.
like he tried at all.
That's the thing. He tried hard to not sound like he tried hard.
It sounds like he tried hard and was just on the wrong path
Chewy,
from second four.
what's your pick of the year for the worst album?
Uh, let's see.
Tried so hard he skipped out on the production budget.
um, it has to be Mumford and Sons. I don't even remember what the album's called.
Louder now.
Is that what it's called?
No.
Wilder Mind, I think.
Wild Run,
Yeah.
Wilder
Something,
Mind, something like that.
Something.
Wild Heart. Let me look it up.
From
Let me at
Islands
least
of America, Wild Heart with my banjos.
Wild at Heart.
let me at least give them the fucking decency to remember their goddamn Wilder Mind. Oh god, sounds as generic as the rest of the goddamn album.
I think my vote for worst album of the year is either Speed and Bullet or the wonderful Drones by Muse.
Oh man, oh yeah, that isn't that album nominated for best rock record in the
Yeah, it
Grammys?
is. Yeah, it
I
is.
Honestly, the state of rock,
I
the state
wanted
of
to-
rock in the Grammys is so tragic. Holy shit.
We've had some
Like,
good
Foo
rock
Fighters must
records
have been
this year.
nominated.
We've had some good rock records this
I
year,
don't even know.
man.
The Grammys have no like they don't like. It's amazing to see
They have
how
no
far they've fallen from understanding what rock is anymore. Because I think this got used to go like, oh, the Foo Fighters record, we'll give them the award. Basically, they've been
that's
doing that for a while.
they're not
And
even doing that this year.
yeah, it's like
That's how far they've strayed.
how
think-
who? I'm sorry, what you gonna say, Danny?
I was just gonna say the Grammys lost all credibility with me when they gave Macklemore best
Best
album
hip hop
over
of the year
Good
in the
Kid,
year that
Mad City, and
and
Yeezus.
Yeezus came out, and I'm like, holy fuck! I think they're trying to make up for it by like at this point, Kendrick had like 11 nominations, like he's leading the charge in terms
Yeah.
of all the nominations he has. But it's like I mean, okay, they're getting it with hip hop. They're trying to understand. They're not fully getting it with electronic music. Although shout out Jamie XX, he's
Yeah,
nominated.
James Six is nominated in there.
But like their rock is like holy. How can you? They're what? You mean to tell me you couldn't think of 5 better rock records than that?
I forgot who else is nominated besides
Like I swear,
Drone.
like fucking off the top of my head, like okay, fine. I get that you don't want to nominate the most lamentable tragedy. All right, that's fair
Yeah,
enough. That's like I mean,
Yeah.
Test Drunk is kind of niche.
Yeah,
Like I swear, Slater Kenny album came out this year,
a Slater
and
Kenny
they get
album.
nominated.
Didn't Mac DeMarco have an album this year? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I
There,
don't
there
get
are a
it.
bunch of rock records. If you want to go rock, capital R, there's a bunch of rock records you could have chosen from that people were fit. Fucking, you could have nominated Blur.
Yeah,
Like,
Blur had a
that's true.
fucking album
That
this
is
year.
true.
Holy
you could have
shit!
nominated so many people.
Jesus.
Drones. Fucking Christ. Are you serious? Oh man, I swear I wouldn't be surprised if Watermind is nominated. You know, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I bet you it is. I bet you it is.
Oh my god, the
Let's check it
anticipation
out.
is killing me.
Time
Jesus
to
Christ.
control F. No, Mumford and Sons aren't nominated for anything.
Oh, thank God.
I
Oh,
controlled
I
I
mean,
controlled
like
F Mumford and Sons.
All
at
right.
some point, I'm like, this would be just ridiculous.
All right. Oh, Ghost got nominated for a rock album. That's cool. Goofy ass Scooby Doo chase music.
Wait, no? I think they got nominated just for performance. I
Oh,
think.
just for performance.
Yeah, just for like metal performance or something for that one
Can
song
someone,
that's way
can
too
someone
long.
give me the list of the rock again?
Here are the best rock albums nominated: "Chaos in the Calm" by James Bay. I don't even know who that is. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
Uh, "Kintsugi" by Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh my,
That
Kitsurugi?
rhymes.
Oh God, that
Are you
album was
fucking shitting me?
bad.
Uh,
That album was really bad. Holy fuck.
okay, and we have "Mr. Asylum" by Highly Suspect. I don't know who that is either.
Fuck that.
We have the winner of Best Rock Album 2015, "Drones" by Muse.
Oh my god.
And finally, we have Point Five, the Gray Chapter by
By
Slipknot.
Slipknot. Incredible.
You nominated
Tame
Slip.
Impala is actually nominated for Best Alternative Music Album.
Of course, that's what they fucking do with the people
And
they can't
Bjork.
get categories. They throw them in there. Like last year, fucking St. Vincent was nominated for best. Oh, she won best alternative. But man, she should have been nominated for best rock and best like
Yeah.
album. of the
How
year.
is Tame Impala not rock?
I don't know. And Tim Impala's really popular now. Like,
Yeah.
It's
Like,
because they had to fit in James Bay, Chaos and the Calm.
and Mr. Sinister.
I'm surprised Disturbed isn't on that with that devil leaf, yo.
Oh no,
Well, it might be on Best Metal Performance. Who knows?
yeah, it might be best metal performance. I remember my dad one time was really salty because Dream Theater didn't win best metal performance.
Who won? The Foo Fighters?
Yeah, the Foo Fighters won. The Foo Fighters fucking won, actually.
Seven Dust is nominated for Best Metal Performance. I didn't even know that band was still existed.
Oh yeah. My dad told me that they had a new album this year. He was like, "You should review it for your website blog," and I was like, "I'll think about it, Dad."
They could have nominated Kurt Vile.
Yeah,
But
yeah. What the fuck? Kurt Vile
they
had
could
an
have
album this
nominated
year.
that. Yeah. What else is on Best Metal? Now I just want to know.
Best Metal. Okay, Best Metal Performance we have "Identity" by August Burns Red.
Oh yeah, Argument Red.
Wow.
Nothing like
We have
2008 metalcore.
Oh my
we have the winner for Best Metal Performance. We have of 2015. We have Sir Rice by Ghost. I don't know how to say it. It's probably some weird
I
word.
feel like, mhm. Wow.
The Scooby Doo music. We have 512 by Lamb of God.
Wow, they're still around?
That's
Yeah.
all right.
Well,
I'll give him that. I'll give him a Lamb of God pick. That's not The worst.
I had
Yeah.
no idea they're still around, to be
Thank you.
honest.
Didn't their
Like,
singer like get arrested for like trying to kill his wife or something?
No. There was like some manslaughter case that happened.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of the As
Yeah.
I Lay Dying dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally we have Custer by Slipknot.
So wait, Slipknot got nominated for best rock, but
Yes.
they got nominated for best metal performance as well.
Yes.
All right,
Well,
That's it. That's how it goes.
incredible. RJ, end the cast. No, you
Uh,
did it last time. Chewy, end the cast.
wait, Def haven't even get nominated for anything.
Good.
that's not too
I don't like
surprising.
that album, but fuck, if they're gonna nominate half these other albums, just anything,
Okay, well,
anything will do.
all right.
There it is. There it is.
Comeback could have won best metal performance. Comeback's a really good track.
Comeback. Okay. Now, if anything, Brought to the Water should have.
Look, Comeback is way better than Brought to the Water.
No. The knife fight starts now because Brought to the Water is a better song.
Brought to the Water is good. There are two good songs on that album.
Yeah, they're both
Brought to
good
the Water
songs.
and
They're both
Comeback.
great songs. Comeback. The end of Comeback is one of the best parts in the album.
The end to Brought to the Water makes it worse than Comeback.
Oh, but come on.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, Brought to the Wild is pretty good.
Oh wait. Oh, are you
The
talking about
piano?
Fade Out,
It sounds like they're parodying themselves.
Okay, look.
Brought to the Wild is not that
Okay,
bad.
I'll give you that. His points are taken off for that fade out, but I think everything else that's in the song makes up for it.
That bridge
You know
is
what?
really good.
Cause you hear that riff, that perfect.
Yeah,
What is that?
It's
No,
very
think about
Smashing
it.
Pumpkins.
How, but not nearly as good because they're not Smashing Pumpkins. Like, Artie, how do you feel about New Bermuda? Now that I really,
Yeah, we haven't
so we
asked
didn't
RJ.
review it. Yeah, and RJ's like the resident, like, you
Okay.
know, I think bigger than anyone. I think everyone's kind of sort of a fan. Like, I kind of like that fan, not really.
I
But
like
This-
Sunbather and Roads a lot.
Sunbather.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty fine record. Sunbather.
I still really liked it, but it was definitely. I was unfortunately I had the hype. I had the
Oh
case
no,
of the hype.
you had the case of
and
the
I
hypes.
was like, Deaf Heaven can do no wrong. How can they?
No.
How
See.
can they possibly go down? Like Sunbather is like my top 5 records of all time.
Oh no.
And then New River come out, and it's like, well, this is great,
Oh
but
no, that's the Phantom Menace syndrome right there. You come out of it like
The best
that was solid.
the best part was when they like released the single and everybody
Yeah.
was like, well, they probably just edited Brought to the Water's like ending. Like it's probably still just as good
Yeah.
as Sunbather. And then
Lol.
I listened to the album version and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's the same song. Cool, nice.
like I like a lot of things, and it's still pretty high up on my list.
No, you know what the
Or-
worst is? The worst is like that Red House Painter sounding song, and then like instead of getting someone to sing on it, they just have George Clark screaming over it, and it's so tacky. It is.
Now I'm just
Wait,
imagining
what
Red
song
House
is that again?
Painters.
I think it's. I really don't remember.
I've forgotten damn near all this record except
I've-
for Brought to the Water, which is alright.
I remember Brought to the Water and Come Back, and that's it. I think it was Gifts for the Earth.
Oh, that song was good. But yeah, although Red House Painters with the George Clark string over it sounds pretty appealing. It sounds like what the next Mark Kozlak project might be like.
Yeah, maybe you know what I like to think. Okay, look at it like this: Titus Andronicus, first
Mhm.
album, fantastic, really
Oh, okay.
good.
I see where you're going with
The
this.
Monitor. A lot of people
I see
consider The
where you-
Monitor to be their best album.
Yeah.
Local Business.
Yep.
Not bad.
That's a
But
good
it's not as
song.
bad as you guys made it sound. I'm like, this is.
It's not bad.
This is
It's not.
okay.
It's not
like
bad.
by any means. It has
A
one of my favorite
respectable
Titus
7.
songs.
But is it as good
7.5?
as The Monitor or Titus Andronicus?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Not even.
And so, with maybe it's the same thing. Rose to Judah, really good. Sunbather,
Yeah.
whew, that's 10 out of 10 material right there.
Oh yeah.
New Bermuda, Local Business. They both have
Oh, I see. You're going with this.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to wait like 2 years for that to happen.
Not every band can have the Radiohead or the Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah.
Not
it's
everybody can
it's
go
not fair, really.
One,
it's-
2, 3. It's just, it can't
Yeah.
happen.
It's got to go 1, 2, 3.
One, two. It's kind of like fucking accepting your high school fucking diploma, and like
Mhm.
you're wearing heels. It's like fuck, man. All right, it's time to go. Time to shine.
Was
Take
it? Was
one
anybody
step
else
over
like
that.
scared of tripping when they were
Yeah,
walking?
no, someone tripped at my fucking thing.
Someone tripped at
And
my
as
thing
a
as
high
well.
school grad, I'm like, oh no. I texted them after, like, I'm so sorry. I rubbed their shoulder. I'm like, I'm sorry this had to happen. But one of us had to be
Yep.
sacrificed. one of us had to be sacrificed to the diploma cause.
And I
Sorry, it
think
had to be you.
Yeah. Also, one last thing about Newbury. I think the main thing that hurts the album the most is that this was their album that where they were kind of like,
We're more
guys,
metal.
we're a metal band,
Yeah,
remember?
yeah,
We do
yeah.
metal.
that
I think
all
that's what
those
hurts the album the
mean
most.
blogs writing about how they're not metal, it really
Yeah, they
got to them.
ruined it. They
They actually
ruined
got
it.
to Kerry Washington.
Yep.
You know, you
Wait,
know
Kerry
that's
Washington. He's from where is he from again? He's from
They're from California, right?
yeah.
oh, Sunbather? Not Sunbather. Death Heaven.
Yeah, Def Leppard's from.
They're from San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that
was
also didn't help because people were like, oh, you're from San Francisco, you guys are probably gay. I'm like, well, that's likely.
Hey man,
But even still, like, what did
oh,
that have to do with anything? With
Kerry is
anything?
from Kerry's from Arizona. He's from Yuma,
Oh,
Arizona.
that's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people were. I mean, and metal is definitely. Like, a lot of people get hip hop stuff like, oh, hip hop is like, misogynistic, which it can be. Let's fucking be honest here, and like homophobic, which it can be. But I think metal gets away with a lot of like really gross shit. If the
Oh yeah.
communities are like really sort of like, almost hate mongering, and it's like, oh,
well
did
because
you
a lot
even
of.
listen to metal? I mean, a
Are,
lot of it's power fantasy stuff.
are you ready for this? A lot of
And
people
it,
get out of their metal phase when they turn like 16.
yeah, that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot
So
of power. Yeah, well, it makes sense, but doesn't mean it's good. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
So that's why I mean, and here you come like with like the Sunbather, this record that's part shoegaze, part metal,
all emotion.
yeah, part drone, part
Throwing a
ambient,
dash
part
of
all these
post rock
things.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh for sure. Some of those fucking some of those like extended periods are like, oh well,
Yeah.
hey man, I heard you like post rock, so we're just not going to
Or
end
like just
to
irresistible.
stretch. Yeah, basically.
Or like in Pecan Tree, whenever it like breaks down, it's just the piano and like the
Yeah.
guitar and shit. It's like dun 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 dun, and it's
Yeah.
got like that Godspeed style weeping guitar.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's good
Yeah,
shit. Post
it's
rock
like
needs to be in more things. Damn it.
yeah, yeah.
Just do Sunbather 2. Just do it. But
Never gonna
don't
happen.
make yourself do it.
It's too late. They're already in their fucking heads now. It's
Yep.
too late.
The next Def Heaven album is gonna be a fucking
Oh
Slayer
no.
cover album.
Oh my god, no. I
Oh.
want the most lamentable Sunbather.
uh.
I mean, it'll be lamentable, all right, but I don't think it'll what you want.
by tomorrow morning without a doubt. And I
Sick.
hope you guys have a good day.
All right,
All right,
y'all.
see you later, man.